a Q&A. To do a Q&A before we wrap up our session for today. But before we get started, I'd like to know where you're joining us from. So type into the chat. I'm Adeza Suleiman. I'm joining you from Alberta, Canada. So type in the chat. Let me know where you are joining us from. Okay. So Leo is joining from Austria. Good to have you here, Leo. Let's have more people. Okay. Chinelo from Nigeria. Okay, so just type in the chat. Let's know where you are joining from. Deji is joining from the UK. Okay, it's all direct messages to me, so I'm not sure others can see what you're typing. Yemi is joining from the UK. Okorowa is joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Wasiu is joining from London. Oluwasomi is joining from the UK as well. Absolutely phenomenal. And this is the beauty of having sessions like this. You get to interact with people from across different regions. Osariame is joining from the UK. Okay, now let's dive into the main meat of our session for today. So why are we here? And let's do a bit of introduction before we kickstart our session. So I'll drive my session using my presentation, and I want you to, like I said, feel free, ask as many questions as you can, and we'll have an amazing time today. So why are we here? Where do you find visa-sponsored jobs? And this is a major issue for a lot of people. In the UK, you've gone for your master's, you've completed your master's. Now it's time for you to either apply for a postgraduate visa, or you go ahead and get a job that will give you the opportunity to get your skilled worker visa. You get a certificate of sponsorship, and you can get your tier 2, skilled worker visa. How do you get those opportunities? How do you get the opportunity to get a H-1B visa in the US and get a job, stay for 3 years, renew, and you can start your pathway into getting a green card? And that's what we'll discuss today. And more importantly, we'll discuss the career path that will get you there the fastest. Okay, there are so many career paths you can consider, but which of these career paths would get you to that destination the fastest? And would interact and dive into that as we move along. So welcome Zenkosi from South Africa, Angela from Canada. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, who is Tenalytics and what are we all about? Tenalytics is a leading educational technology company, and the focus for us is helping Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora to make the transition into the tech ecosystem. And we do this by providing you with premium, exceptional training programs across different areas, including data analytics, data science, business analysis, cybersecurity, agile Scrum, AI engineering, and so on and so forth. Okay, and over the last 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,000 people to make that jump from the classroom to getting their first jobs. Okay, how have we done this? And how can you also do the same for those of you looking to get into the tech ecosystem in these specific areas? And my name is Adeza. For those of you joining us for the very first time for a Tenalytics Masterclass, my name is Adeza Suleiman. I'm a technology expert with a decade experience in data analytics and management consulting. So like many of you, my first degree was in industrial chemistry. I had nothing to do with data, nothing to do with the tech ecosystem, but then I made the transition. So how can you also make the transition? You're currently a banker, you're currently a support worker, you're currently a care worker, you're currently a logistics officer, a baker. How do you make that jump from your current career path into a career path as a data analyst or data scientist? What are the key factors that will get you there the fastest? I'm the founder of Tenalytics, and using Tenalytics as a platform, we've been able to help over 2,000 people to make that transition into the tech ecosystem. My experience spans across the US, the UK as a data science consultant, data analyst, data business systems analyst. I've worked as a data analytics consultant, and I've worked across 5 different sectors, from energy to financial services to automobile to sports. and so on and so forth. And I'll be sharing my experience as I move along. I currently reside in Alberta, Canada, and I'll be driving the session today and ensuring that you're able to get immense value. So if you have a friend, you have a colleague, you know somebody that should be here that can benefit from this session today, please share the link with them, get them on board, and let's have an amazing time. Now, our session would cut across four key areas. The first one is where we'd try to identify, where can I get these jobs? How do I apply to these jobs? What strategies do I deploy to applying and getting these jobs? Okay, so discuss that, and then we'll move into the pathway for you to become a professional, where to apply, how to secure the jobs, and like I mentioned, the factors that will get you there the fastest. Because one of the major misconceptions that I've seen so many times is people focusing on only one major area, which is the technical skill. Okay, which is a technical skill. Your technical skills forms one part of the equation. I'm going to introduce you to an equation today, and we'll dive into it and elaborate on that. It's called the T plus E equation. T plus E equals the job. Okay, so what does this mean? T is for the technical. E is for the employability. A lot of people fall short when it comes to employability skills. And I'll open you up to those strategies, what you need to do to get you across the line. You've been trying to get interviews and it's so difficult, you really can't get them. How do you start to get those interviews? Implementing the strategies I'll be sharing with you today. And of course, I'll introduce you to our upcoming program. We have a cohort that starts on the 7th of September, 2024, and I'll introduce you to that and how you can also be a part of it. And finally, we have an amazing offer for those who stay till the end of the session today. So like I said, you have somebody you believe would benefit from this, ensure that you invite them into the session. For you to take advantage of all the amazing stuff we're going to do, the benefits, the discounts, the amazing stuff we have for you to get the recording and the slides I'll be using today. Ensure that you fill the attendance form. My colleagues would share the attendance form in the chat. Aimoa and Lydia, Elijah, these are my colleagues. They would share the slides and they'll share the link for you to fill in the attendance. Ensure that you fill the attendance so that you get all the materials from today's session. Now, one question people always ask is, are people getting jobs? Okay, have people gone through 10 analytics? Have they come out, finished the program, completed their internship, and have they been able to get jobs? So one of the things I like to, because it's easier for you to relate to people that have gone through the same path that you are trying to cross. Okay, you are trying to become a business analyst, for example. You want to see somebody that has done it. They've joined, they've completed, and they've gotten a business analyst position. You want to become a data engineer. You want to see somebody that has completed their internship, gotten a job as a data engineer, because it always seems impossible until somebody has done it. All right, it's always impossible. Oh, there are no jobs, you can't get the job until you see people that have gotten these jobs. So I'm going to quickly share the next 5 minutes, some success stories of some amazing, amazing professionals. These people were like you a few months ago. They joined a session like this. They had an amazing time. They registered, they joined the program, completed their internship, and today they've gotten jobs in their respective preferred career path. All right. And I'm going to start with Joel, fantastic professional. Joel joined our data engineering program towards the end of last year, September 2023. He completed his data engineering journey with us in January 2024. So he had 5 months of learning, 5 months of learning, 4 months in the classroom, working on projects, building ETL pipelines as a data engineer. And then he had his internship. He completed his internship in January. And by May 2024, Joel landed a job as a data engineer working remotely. All right. So what we've also done is we've kept videos made by these professionals. So you get to listen to them and, you get inspired by the way they started and where they are currently. Joel was simply a process. He worked in an organization where his focus was only on processes, optimizing processes, automating processes. But Joel was able to transition from that role into a data engineering role. And I'll share some of the profiles with you because the LinkedIn profile also plays a major role in you securing that job. All right. Now, this is Joel. You have Vivian. Vivian joined our data science program early last year. She completed her program sometime in May. And in June, just a month after she completed the program, she got a job as a data scientist working remotely in France. She lived in Nigeria, worked for a company in France, working remotely as a data scientist. She moved from Nigeria to the UK. And in April this year, she got a job, another job as an associate manager, data and business analytics in the UK. All right. The amazing stuff is when you get that offer, the organization would request for a reference. And part of the things we do for you to secure that role is to provide you with a reference. All right. You also get to listen to Vivian, amazing, amazing lady. You have Olua Damilare. Damilare got a job as a sustainability data analyst in the UK with a company called BAM. Damilare had immense support when it came to his interviews. He had so many interviews. We worked with him, prepared him for his interviews, and he landed a job as a sustainability data analyst. For those of you that joined early and you listened to the videos, you watched the videos my colleagues were playing at the beginning, you'd have gotten to see Olua Damilare speaking and talking about his experience and how he was able to make that jump. And Ikmat was the last lady that spoke. Ikmat was a full-time stay-at-home mom in the UK. She decided to get back into the job market. She joined the program, joined our data analytics program, and she was able to land a job with the NHS after completing the program. She got her first offer while she was still training with us. And today, Ikmat works as a data analyst in the UK with full visa sponsorship. All right. She got a COS from the NHS and she was able to get her skilled worker visa. And today she works as a data analyst in the NHS. And we always like to brag at 10 Analytics. We have over 54 alumni working in the NHS alone. And the NHS is one of the websites I'll be opening you up to and how you can take advantage of the numerous jobs available in the UK within that space. And there's so many other people, so many of them. I'm not going to bore you with too many. You have Bukola. Bukola joined us in September 2023, completed our program in January. And by June, she landed a job as a people data scientist in Poland. All right. You have Abdul. Abdul joined our HR analytics program in October, completed his journey in March 2024, and he was able to land a job just after completing the program. And he completed his program in January and landed a job in March. And you'd see the message is sent to me. I'm excited to share with you, I received a 44K data analyst role a few days ago. If you could recall, I actively participated in the mock-up HR analyst interview. I will be submitting your email for reference purpose today. All right. And that's Abdul. Absolutely phenomenal, fantastic professional. And so many people, so many of them. I'm not going to bore you with all the testimonials because you'd have the slides at the end of today's session. But remember, for you to get the slides, you want to ensure that you fill the attendance form. Okay, and that would open you up to all the materials that I would have to share today. This is Busola. Busola sending me a message. Good morning, Adeza. Sending me an email. Good morning, Adeza. I wanted to update you about the reference you assisted with. I got an offer from them on Friday and I agreed to it. Thank you very much for all the support you provided at 10 Analytics. And this is Busola, who joined us this year in March 2024. She completed her program in July, and in that same July, she was able to land a job as a performance analyst with one of the largest insurance companies in Canada, Desjardins. Okay, so there's a process to the way these people got their jobs. And what I've also done for you is I've left some of their profiles open for you to access. Why have we done that? So if I click on Busola's profile, for example, it will take me to Busola's LinkedIn. And I'm going to share this with you very quickly. Now, the only way you can get a reference from Tenalytics is you working with Tenalytics. And how does it work? When you join us, you are not a learner, you are not a trainee, you are a contractor with us. And because you're a contractor with us, you list that on your LinkedIn, you list that on your CV, and that gives you the opportunity to show that you are currently on the job. So when it comes to positioning, you position yourself for employers, potential employers, to see you as the best person for that job. Because if you're currently on the job, it means you know what you're doing. And when it comes to referencing, you also have the opportunity to use Tenalytics as a reference. Okay, so if I click on Busola's profile, for example, it's going to take me to Busola's LinkedIn. And I want to just touch on a few things and show you the importance of positioning on LinkedIn. All right, so there are a couple of the profiles I have, kept like that. So let's see Busola's profile very quickly. So when you go to Busola's profile, you'd see one of the first things you'd see is you both worked at Tenalytics. All right, you both worked at Tenalytics, and that's very key. And when you dive a little bit deeper, you'd see Tenalytics, and now she's gotten a job as a performance analyst with Desjardins, insurance, started the job in July, just last month. And these are professionals who were like you a few months ago, but today they've been able to make that jump to get the job in their preferred career path. All right. And a whole lot of them like that. If I go to, let's check another person's profile very quickly. So let's go to, say, Oluwadamilare, for example. I click on Oluwadamilare's profile. It takes me to LinkedIn as well. And you'd see clearly the reasons why employers find people like Oluwadamilare attractive. So this is Damilare. And again, you'd see that you both worked at Tenalytics. So you position yourself as somebody who is on the job. If you position yourself as a learner, as a trainee, somebody who has just learned over the last 5 months, nobody would look your way, and you don't get that opportunity eventually. So you'd see Oluwadamilare, data analyst, Tenalytics contract before he got this job. And again, started the job in April this year in the UK. He lives in Leeds, works in Leeds in the UK. And these are the opportunities that are open to you. But beyond you positioning yourself on LinkedIn, what are the other key factors that would enable you get these jobs? Where do you even apply to these jobs? And this is what our session today would center around, essentially. Okay, so let's move on. So you have so many professionals across different regions. This is Fola. Fola joined us in February this year, completed in May, and she currently works as a business analyst with the government of British Columbia in Canada. And you'd see Fola simply saying, sending me a message. Just give me 1 second. I need to. Yeah, so you see Fola sending me a message saying, I just completed the reference check. I sent her the message I just completed, went smoothly, and so on. And this is where she's saying, hi, Adeza, on the 2nd of August. Hello, I got the job. The contract was signed yesterday, and I'll be starting on Tuesday. All right, so that's Fola. This is Benem. Benem is in the US. She joined our HR analytics program. And today, Benem sent a message to her trainer. Her trainer is Mary. Mary leads the HR analytics program at Tenalytics. And this is Mary saying, hi, Mary, an update, I got the job. All right, thank you so much, and Tenalytics too. I'm very happy that I took this opportunity. And so many other professionals, so many of them, Abigail, Tony, Ramat, Muhyiddin, who lives in Nigeria, in Ibadan, Nigeria, and working for a company in the US, working for a company in the UK. You have Abdul Rashid, who lives in Abuja, Nigeria, working for a company in the US. And I've also kept numerous videos to inspire you, to tell you that, look, it doesn't matter what you're currently doing. It could be a support worker, it could be a care worker, like Abigail. Abigail was a care worker. She joined our business analysis program, and today she's a business analyst with the government of Alberta in Canada. So how did Abigail transition to getting this job? And other amazing professionals. Okay, so you'd see sessions on how I secured a job after training with Analytics, after how I secured a job, how I secured a job, how I secured a job. So these are sessions where professionals who have gone through the program, they come back to also walk you through, oh, I was skeptical at the beginning. I wasn't sure I had what it took to get the job, but I joined, and today, here I am. Okay, but now let's get into the main meat of our session today. All right, and I want you to go through the entire testimonial list, listen to Busola, for example, how Busola was able to transition and get a job as a people data scientist. And you also get inspired by people like this. But let's dive into the main meat of our session today. But before you apply to any job, you must follow the Analytics six-step approach. Okay? What has made us so successful? How have we been able to help over 2,000 people to transition? Somebody like Abigail, who was a care worker, somebody like Tony, who was a pharmacist, currently a benefits analyst in the UK, somebody like Vivian, who did nothing related to tech, but today Vivian works as an associate manager, data and business analytics with a company in the UK. So what are those key steps you need to take to make that transition? So before you start to apply to jobs, number one is you must know the career path you want to get into. All right. So there are so many areas within the tech ecosystem. You could get into the tech ecosystem as a data engineer, as a software engineer, as a UI UX designer, and there's so many. But which of these career paths would get me the job the fastest? I don't want to be in the job market for too long. I don't want to keep on searching and searching and searching. I want the opportunity to get the skills and also apply and get the job. And we've put this six-step approach that has made us amazingly successful in helping other people transition. Like I mentioned earlier, my first degree was in industrial chemistry. My very first job out of the university was as a management consultant. So I worked in management consulting, nothing related to tech. But then I was able to make the transition. I got my very first job as a data analyst for working with a company in the US while I was still in Nigeria. How was I able to do that? And that's where Analytics comes in. We put together a six-step approach that ensures that you are able to make that transition. Okay. Alade, I think you're writing on my screen. I don't know how to stop this. Please don't scribble on the screen so we don't distract other people. Thanks for that. Now, the first thing you have to do is know the career path you want to get into. So you select your preferred career path, your desired career path, the path that interests you. Okay, you've heard about the career, you've done your research, you've gone on LinkedIn, you've looked at the fact that, oh, these jobs are there. I can get a job as a business analyst, a HR analyst, and so on and so forth. Okay, sorry, I don't know. Elijah, please, how do you stop? I have people scribbling on my screen. Please don't scribble on the screen so that you don't get yanked off the session. All right, so it's very distracting when you scribble. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is select your required career path, the desired career path. That's number one. Now, once you've selected the desired career path, you need to then learn that skill. Okay, and that's a given. Every single organization wants to ensure that you are able to do the job. So you must learn the skill. You must educate yourself. So I want to become a data analyst, for example. I'm a management consultant. What do I need to do? I need to learn the skill. I need to be so good that organizations would find it difficult to ignore me. All right. And I would walk you through, I'll break it down as we move forward, how to learn the skill, how do you develop the skills, where do you learn, and so on and so forth. And once you've done this, you've identified a career path, you've started learning the skill, you must gain experience. And people feel like the only way to gain experience is by working in an organization. And that's not the case. You are a banker, you're a nurse, you're a support worker, you're a care worker, you're a customer service representative, and you want to transition into a data science role. You want to get a job as a data scientist, you must work on projects. You build your experience through project-based learning, all right? And all your projects must be in a portfolio. Your portfolio is your showroom. And this is where you showcase the skills, the depth of your skills, how good you are. I always use this analogy. Imagine you want to buy a couch in your living room. Now, you have two people you're considering to give the contract to for them to build that couch for you. One of them has a certificate that says, I've gone to carpentry school, I have a certificate in carpentry, I can build couches. The second person has a showroom where you can walk into the showroom, you can feel the couches they have built, you can touch it, you can assess the quality, and so on and so forth. Who would you give that contract to? Would you give it to the person who has a certificate from carpentry school, or would you give it to the person who has a showroom where you can feel and touch and assess the quality of what they have built? Type into the chat. I want to get your feedback. Who would you give the contract to? The showroom. Angie says the showroom. Angie says the showroom. Okay. I want to get more feedback. Glory says showroom. SDW says showroom. Wasiu says showroom. Absolutely. And as anybody getting into the tech ecosystem, your portfolio is your showroom. That's where all the projects you've worked on, you upload them into that portfolio. The link to your portfolio would be on your CV. Everybody can click on that link. Anybody can click on that link and see the type of work you've done. And that's where recruiters, potential employers can assess the depth of your skills, how good you are for you to get that job. Okay, so I want you to shift your mindset from only getting experience through going to the office, taking your backpack, going to the office. No, you gain experience by working on projects. Okay, now once you've done this, the next step, which I dare say is even the most important, are your employability skills. You must gain employability skills. I'll come back to break everything down, like I said. But imagine you are the best in the use of Excel. You can build amazing machine learning model as a data scientist, but you get into an interview and they ask you, introduce yourself. And you really can't introduce yourself. You mumble and fumble, oh, my name is Adeza, I'm the first son of my family, I'm from Kogi State in Nigeria. Irrelevancies, all right? So how do you introduce yourself in a structured approach using a technique like the SEAT approach, okay? S for skills, you talk about your skills. E for experience, talk about your experience. A for achievements, you talk about your achievements. And then T for your traits or type of person, where you are talking about, and you have to relate your traits to the core values of that organization. So if their core values include, punctuality, professionalism, you want to talk about that you're that type of person. And those are the traits that you have as well. And this makes it, one of the most important factors in the T+E equation for you to get that job. If you don't have the right CV, you don't have the right LinkedIn, you can't present yourself, sell yourself during an interview using techniques like the SEAT approach, answering competency-based questions using the STAR technique. You don't know how to prepare for that interview, you're likely not going to get that job. All right, so that's number 4. Number 5 in the 6-step approach is you networking. Networking is absolutely important. And this is not just a cliche. Everybody says network, network, network. No. How do you network at Analytics? We have an alumni community. You have a community of people that are trying to achieve similar goals as you. And I'll show you the power of being in a community, especially in a community like the Analytics community, where one person gets a job, performs very well, other roles become available, and that person communicates those roles to his classmates. 2 of his classmates applied and they were able to get jobs in similar organizations in the same region. All right. And I'll show you practical examples of how that happened. And that's the power of being in a community. Okay. And why do you get that job a lot faster? And how does it become a little bit easier for you? You have somebody in-house that has an understanding of the organization. They've gone through the interview process, and you would also be leveraging their experience, and you get to do better when you are being interviewed for a similar role because you have somebody to help you, walk you through all the things you need to do. Finally, the 6th step. The 6th step is the mentorship. And this is where you listen to industry experts like Adeza, the co-founder of Analytics, and we bring in other industry experts to mentor you so you don't make the same mistakes that we made. When you are battling with imposter syndrome, how do you overcome imposter syndrome? When you feel like, I don't think I'm good enough to apply. Or for the ladies, a study shows that a typical lady would not apply to a job until she meets 100% of the requirements, while the male counterparts would apply when they meet only 60%. So how do you start to push more women into the tech ecosystem? How do you encourage the women to apply even when they don't meet 100% of the requirements? And that's why today there's a huge disparity in the gender. When you look at the gender gap in the tech ecosystem, it's a 75 to 25%, 75% male and only 25% female. So the tech ecosystem is dominated by male because the female would not apply. So how do you get mentors that will push you? Somebody like Busola, who was able to apply to get a job just a month after completing a program with us at Analytics, getting a job with Destradines. You have Bukola as well, who is in Poland, applying to a company, QVC, getting a job as a people data scientist, and so on and so forth. How are these ladies getting these opportunities? And these are the 6-step approach. At Analytics, every Thursday evening, we have mentorship sessions, right? And what we also do is we bring the people that have gotten these jobs. They've gone through the program, completed it, they've gotten jobs. We bring them back to become your buddies, buddy mentors. So they come share their experience with you. Somebody like Ikmat, for example, who is in the UK, works with the NHS. She completed her training, had interviews, can work with you if you're in the UK, show you all the things you need to do, answer questions. What did the interview process look like? And this is what gets you prepared for breaking into the tech ecosystem. All right. So this is our 6-step approach. I'm going to come back. I'll break it down further. Okay. Show you what the power of networking looks like, being a part of a community, how important it is. And of course, your employability skills. What role do we play in ensuring that you have the perfect CV, the perfect LinkedIn, going to the interview, representing, giving the best representation of yourself and selling yourself for that job. Leaving the room with the impression, leaving the interviewers with the impression that if they don't hire you, they would have missed out on something, very big for that year. And that's how we prepare you for the job. Now, but let's dive into the first part. Before we start applying to jobs and searching for the job websites, what are the key areas, or which key areas should you focus on? Okay, because before we even do anything, you need to identify the career path you are interested in. That's number one. when it comes to the 6-step approach. Okay, you must identify. Now, how did Analytics identify the career path to introduce and offer to the public? All right, and we did this using a very methodical approach. Now, the first thing we did is to scrape data from the major job boards, from LinkedIn, Glassdoor, CV Library, read.co.uk, ZipRecruiter, Job Bank, and so on and so forth. We scraped data from the major job boards across the UK, the US, and Canada, and we analyzed the data to identify the career path that were most frequently requested for. So which job role did organizations hire for the previous year? So at the end of 2023, we do this analysis, end of 2022, end of 2021, and we've been doing that for the last 4 years. So which career path did organizations recruit for the most? Now, we saw this career path and we juxtaposed that against 3 major criteria, because there are career paths that are in high demand, but guess what? They are not easy to learn. Okay, blockchain engineering is not easy to learn. It's a fantastic career path, but it's not easy to learn. So we needed to ensure that any career path we offer should be easy to learn. Somebody who is a nurse should be able to learn the skills and make that transition. A baker should be able to learn the skills and make that transition. So that was the number 1 criteria we looked at. Okay, a career path whereby you can learn within the space of 3 to 5 months. You learn within the space of 3 to 5 months, and you are able to make that jump into the career path. So that was the first thing we looked at. The second criteria is ease of transitioning. Okay, so now you've learned the skill. Is there a demand for that job? Is there a demand for the job? Can I apply to that job and get opportunities? So ease of transitioning was the second criteria we looked at. And finally, higher rewarding salary. Is the salary fantastic? So because I can get into this career path, the demand is high, is the salary also fantastic? So we looked at these 3 criteria in line with the frequency, the number of jobs that had been requested by organizations that were in high demand, and we came up with 8 career paths. The business analyst career path, the agile project manager, scrum master, the data analyst, the data scientist, the data engineer, the cybersecurity analyst, the financial analyst, and finally, the HR analyst. So these are the 8 career paths. All right. Now we saw these 8 career paths, and I want you to take note of them. I need you to start identifying the career path you are interested in right now. Out of the 8, do you want to be a business analyst, a financial analyst, a data analyst? And these are the career paths whereby you want to get a job. You can learn the skills within the space of 3 to 5 months, complete the program, complete an internship. You include the employability skills, and you are able to apply and secure jobs. Everybody you see that got jobs on my slide today, they all fall within these 8 career paths. Okay, one way or the other. Now, when we looked at this, what did we do? We needed to, we decided to seek external validation, right? So if we've seen this, is there any other body that has done a similar analysis, a reputable organization that we can look at what they've done and see if it aligns with the analysis we had carried out? And the body we looked at was the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, would show you clearly where the opportunities are. The career path that would grow in demand and the career path that would decline in demand. Okay, so it's very important that before you make that decision that, oh, I want to become a product manager, I want to become this, I want to become that, you are doing it from an educated point of view. You're not just jumping because everybody's jumping into it, but you are doing it from an educated point of view. So the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs reports, I've kept a link for you. You can download this report. It's available online to anybody who wants to read. And we use this report right from 2016, okay? From 2016, the World Economic Forum has been releasing this, and they've been dead accurate when it comes to predicting where the future of jobs would be. So if you want to transition today, you have to focus on certain areas. And this was where we validated the analysis we had carried out. So where are the jobs that will grow in demand? You'd see that you have the AI machine learning specialist, the business intelligence analyst, and the data analyst and data scientist, clearly spelled out. So if I'm looking to get into anything AI, machine learning, that's a data science career path. I'm literally becoming a data scientist. And if you find yourself in that area today, you won't search for a job for a long time before you land that job. So when you see somebody like Bukola, who joined us September, completed her program in January, and by July, she landed a job. How did that happen? Bukola completed the data science program. So you need to focus on the areas where the jobs are. As a business intelligence analyst, you are a data analyst. A lot of people don't know this. But as a data analyst, you can apply to jobs as a business intelligence analyst. Okay, so these are the first sets of career paths that will grow. Then you have the information security analyst, which of course falls under cyber security. And I always say this generally, if you find yourself in a career path that has to do with data, if you're managing the data, analyzing the data, protecting the data, like a cybersecurity professional, you will get a job easily. All right. So you also have the big data specialists, the data engineers, and the database architects. And these are the professionals who ensure that the data is available, the data is stored, can be managed, and can be accessed no matter the volume of the data. And those are the data engineers. They create the infrastructure to store that data, move the data across different locations within an organization. And of course, you have the process automation specialist, and these are your business analysts. Your business analyst focuses on processes, and they ensure that every process in an organization is optimized. Something that takes 5 days can be automated to take 1 hour. So how do they get it done? That's the business analyst. So you look at the career path. It includes data analytics, data science, cybersecurity, data engineering, business analysis. And you move on, you'd see the project manager as well. But not your conventional project manager, not your project manager who adopts the waterfall methodology. All right? Rather, the agile project manager. The agile project manager are the project managers you'd find in the tech ecosystem. They leverage the agile framework to ensure they are able to deliver products into the market that meets the specifications and meets the needs of the users. And when you look at agile, you're looking at 3 major frameworks. You're looking at Scrum, you're looking at Kanban, you're looking at Lean. Okay, so as an agile project manager, you can get a job as a Scrum Master. So when you look at project management, you have to dissect it and break it down. And agile project management is where you have the opportunities. Okay, you have the database and network professionals who are also the data engineers, cybersecurity professionals. You have the financial analysts as well. And of course, you have the supply chain logistics specialists, data analysts, data scientists. And these validated the analysis we had carried out, showing us where the world of work would be. If I want to get a job today, I want to remain relevant over the next 5 to 10 years, which career path should I focus on? And these are the career paths, the 8 of them. Okay, so make no mistake, which a lot of people always do. Oh, I've been hearing about business analysis. I think business analysis is too common. I don't want to apply. I don't want to learn business analysis. But guess what? As a business analyst, there are numerous jobs within that same ecosystem. For example, a functional analyst, a requirements analyst, all right? A product reliability engineer, a business data analyst, a change management analyst. And these are different job roles you can apply to as a business analyst or after completing a business analysis program. As a data engineer, you can apply to jobs as an ETL developer, AWS cloud engineer, data migration specialist, a data modeler, okay? Data modeler, all right? And these are career paths. And what we do at Analytics is open you up to looking at the broader picture, okay? The broader perspective of applying to jobs. I'm not going to apply to only data engineering jobs. I'm going to break it down one by one and apply to as many jobs as possible. And I'll show you a practical way of doing this when we get into the applying to jobs and so on and so forth. Okay, and as a data analyst, you can get a job as a business intelligence analyst, marketing analyst, sales analyst, customer analyst, customer insights analyst, and so on and so forth. All right, so it's important that you first of all identify your area, what interests you, what do I want to do? So I want to do a very quick poll, and I'm going to ask you a question, all right? Tell me, out of these 8 career paths, which one of them are you interested in getting into? So type into the chat before we move to the practical aspect of our session today. So type into the chat, which career path do you want to get into? Remember, this is the number 1 step out of the 6-step approach. Identify your preferred career path. Okay, I can see Shalom says HR analytics, Hazel says BA, business analysis, Zenkosi says cybersecurity, data engineering, God's will. Andy says agile project management. Faishola says Scrum Master. You know, Glory says data science. Absolutely fantastic. Financial analyst, Morayo. Black Mamba says data science. Thomas Hughes, financial analytics. Thomas, good to have you here on the call again. Thomas has already registered for the program. I guess he's just joining to learn 1 or 2 things. Adebayo, data science. Kenneth, data engineering. And Norma says, I'm confused. And it's okay to be confused, all right? And that's why we are here, to untangle that confusion for you. Now, let's dive into the main aspect of our session. And remember, I said I'll come back to the 6-step approach, okay? Because we need to identify certain things, distill it a little bit further so you have better understanding of what to do across each step. The first step, we've identified that I'm going into this career path because they fall within 3 major criteria: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, high and rewarding salaries. And these are the career paths where you have opportunities to stay relevant in the ecosystem, also validated. We've done our analysis and also validated by the World Economic Forum. Now, where and how do you apply to jobs? Okay, before we dive in to the practical aspect of our session today, there are so many ways of doing this, all right? I'm going to show you, we're going to look at a few because of time, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the free version because you have free websites where you can apply, search for these jobs. But where you start to get more opportunities is in a paid platform, all right? And I'll show you the 2. And what we've also done at Analytics is we subscribe to all these paid platforms and we get the jobs from these paid platforms. So you don't need to pay for it. So we subscribe, we get the jobs and we share them and send to you twice every week. Okay. So on Monday, you are getting over 80 jobs to apply to. On Wednesday, you are getting another 100+ jobs to apply to from paid platforms. All right. And these are the jobs you don't find. You're not going to find them on LinkedIn. You're not going to find them on Glassdoor because, you know, they are with visa sponsorship and they come in a paid platform. And I'll show you, you know, some of these platforms and how to leverage, how we have leveraged them for our participants. Okay. Now, some of these popular websites in the US, you have H1B Info, Job Right, Visa Doors, Simply Hired. And we're going to touch on one or two, depending on the time that we have to look at them. All right. But I'm definitely going to, jump on Job Right. Job Right is one of the most fantastic platforms where you can apply to job because of the numerous features available in there. Okay, so we're going to touch on Job Right. I'll show you what to do. How do you identify and apply to those jobs that can give you a H-1B visa? And what does this simply mean? These are organizations that will petition the government that they want to hire you, a foreign worker or somebody who is, maybe you are a student, you just completed your master's, you just completed your bachelor's, and you want to transition from your student visa into a H-1B visa working for that company. All right. So how do you get these jobs? Where are these jobs located? I'll show you that. We'll move to Canada. We're going to look at the LMIA list. Okay, I'll show you where to apply to government jobs, leveraging Workopolis, and so on and so forth. And then we move to the UK, where I'll show you the UK visa jobs, where you have all the jobs you have here are visa sponsored. Okay, it's a paid platform, it's not free. But what we've done, like I said earlier, is we have subscribed and we make these jobs available. We're going to look at the NHS jobs. And if we have time, I'll show you company jobs because it's very important as well. Now, company jobs is where you can search for companies that have given out COSs the previous year. So if you're applying to an organization, let's say you're applying to Cognizant, for example, how many COS did they issue in 2023? Because if they did not issue any COS, they're not likely going to give me a job, give me a COS, even if I get a job with them. So you don't want to waste your time chasing those organizations that can't sponsor you. All right. So let's start from the US, and would first of all go to the h1binfo.org. So H1binfo and Visa Door pretty much would do the same thing for you. All right. And what do? They have a database of organizations, the number of H-1B petitions they have, applied to the government, how many they have gotten, and the roles they petitioned, where they hired people from. Okay, so let's look at and see, what the H-1B looks like, and let's get a little bit practical. You have the slides. I'm going to share my slides with you, so you don't need to bother trying to maybe write down the link and so on and so forth. Okay, all you need to do is fill the attendance form when my colleague shares the attendance, so that you don't miss out on anything. All right, somebody's saying, when applying to these jobs, do we click yes? I'm going to walk you through what you need to do. Okay, so let's walk together very quickly. Fill the attendance form so you get the slides, you have access to all these websites, all the links I'll be sharing with you. Now let's start with the H-1B info. Okay, and let's see what it looks like and how you can leverage this to apply to jobs you ordinarily would not. So this is you defining a strategy for you to follow. So when I'm searching for that company, I want to be sure I'm applying to the right company that has, given a H1 petition for a H-1B visa for their potential employee. If they've done this for somebody, they can do it for me. But if they haven't done it, then what are the chances that they'll take a chance on you and do that for you? So you want to be smart when applying. Now, I'll click on this link and it takes me to the H-1B database. So let me share my screen and let's get into it together. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You have the opportunity to search for the years. Okay, so I'm going to leave it on all years, or maybe just select 2024. All right, you can enter the job title, the employer name. So let's assume you are searching on LinkedIn, you see a particular job title, and the company is, say, ByteDance. Okay, and you can come in here and type ByteDance, the owners of TikTok. All right, have they petitioned for a H-1B for an employee before? You can check from this database. And if you scroll down a little bit, you would see H1B salary highlights, and you can also see the top H1B sponsors. So who have sponsored in the past? All right, and this is what 2024. So Q1, Q2, who have sponsored for a H1B. And you can easily see you have Ernst & Young with over almost 2,000, 1,700. You have Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Tata Consulting. Tata Consultancy, they are one of the highest in the US, also one of the highest in the UK as well. Same with Cognizant. You have Meta Platforms, Intel, Amazon Web Services, AWS, Infosys Limited. And these are organizations. You can click on View All, and it will show you a list of these companies. All right. So when you're targeting companies, your focus would be on these companies that can give you sponsor petition for a H1B for you getting that job. Now, you can also look at the top H1B jobs: software engineer, software developer, senior software engineer. So software engineering is a fantastic career path. But remember the three criteria I listed at the beginning. Why don't we offer software engineering? It's very simple. Software engineering is not easy to learn. So it doesn't fall within our three criteria. But guess what? Data engineering falls within the top H1B jobs. You also have data scientists falling within the top H1B jobs. Okay, so what does this mean? It shows that organizations are filing for H1B for their employees across these different career paths. But let's search. Let's search for a particular job title, okay? So let's search for data science or data scientist or data analyst, as the case might be. Now let's search for data scientist. So I can just come here. I want to apply to get a job as a data scientist. I've completed the 10 Analytics data science program. I've worked on my project. I've built my portfolio. I have everything going on for me. I have my CV right. What I want to see, which organizations currently have filed petitions and have sponsored for H1B visas for a data scientist. So I can just type in this. I don't need to type an employer name, and I click on search. Okay, so we just wait for it to load. Sometimes, for some reason, the server is a bit slow, so it could take a while, but we'll just wait for it to load. Now, when it's done loading, you then get to see, all right, so this could come up. It's happened so many times. You might want to refresh, you might want to try it again, go back and search again, okay? So the server can be slow sometimes, and this happens. So this is not, any way new. It's not entirely new to me. I've seen this happen so many times, all right? But I'm just going to try again one more time, and let's see what pops up. But if this doesn't pop up, we'll try something different to ensure that we are able to get it up and running. Because you have a lot of people working on this. You have a lot of people on the website at a time, and you have this happen. Okay, so it's up now, right? So you can see the first time it gave us an error, but now it's up. So you start to see the organizations, all right? You see the job title, data scientist, senior data scientist, risk data mining, research scientist, data scientist 1, and you can see the average salary. As a data scientist, I can tell you for free in the US, the chances of you getting a 6-figure job is 95% as a data scientist. Okay, so you see the average salary, 123, 210, 131, of course, depending on the organization, depending on the level of the role you're applying to, and so on and so forth, okay? So you scroll through the company and you see the companies that are are hiring, and they've sponsored for a H1B in 2024, because you can see the year we filtered for 2024. You can search, go all the way down, and I'm interested in working for Meta, okay? Some of you are sending a request to record the session. The session is recorded, and the recording will be made available to everybody that joins today, all right? All you need to do is make sure you fill the attendance form so you get the recording when the recording is available. All right. So I'm interested in working with Meta. There's a data scientist role. How much? 199,000, almost $200,000. All right. And one of the first things we do at Analytics when you join, people get scared. They don't believe that I can get that job working with reputable organizations. You have that imposter syndrome that I'm not good enough. And that's one of the attributes that we take out, we yank it off from you during our mentorship session. So you'd have the confidence to go ahead and apply to jobs in organizations where you have the likelihood of getting that job, okay? So what you can simply do using, H1B info is you look at the organization. Oh, Meta is hiring for data scientists. You can click on Meta to see the other roles they have applied. You can see machine learning engineer, data engineer, production engineer, and so on and so forth, software engineer, and so on, all right? So now I want to apply to Meta, okay? I want to apply to Meta. I want to apply to a job. I want to see if they still have data engineering jobs, if they still have data science jobs available, because I've seen that they have petitioned for these roles. They have given employees the opportunity, the sponsorship to get a H1B visa. So I can do it in two ways. I can do it on LinkedIn to search for the jobs on LinkedIn, or I can simply just go on Google, all right? And I search Meta Platforms Career, okay? Meta Platform Career, you go to Meta Platform Career and you're able to quickly search and check, okay? So something pops up, I can just go here, go to the website, go to their career page, see the jobs they have opened, and I can start applying to those jobs. It is painstaking, it will take your time, but you are tailoring your strength to areas where you have opportunities, okay? So let's see the jobs they have available, and let's see if they have, an opening that we can apply to. So let's come in here and let's search data scientists, okay? Remember, we are data scientists or a data analyst. And once you start searching, of course, you'd see product analytics, data scientist. You can specify your location, or let's not specify, right now. Let's just click on search and let's see the jobs they have opened. Now you can see you have data scientists, product analytics, quite a number of jobs, okay? And even though they have the same title, guess what? These are different jobs, okay? So data scientists, product analytics, machine learning, data scientists, monetization, data scientists, small business group. And you can start to look at what are the requirements, how do I apply? And I would walk you through how the requirements meet the curriculum that we offer at Analytics. So if I click on this, for example, data science, product analytics, I want to see what the job entails, okay? So you go, you look at the technologies, what do they need from you? They need you to have, minimum of 4 years experience in analytics, minimum of 2 years, SQL, Python, R, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you look at what it entails, and then you can go back, see how you can apply to get these jobs. And this is one of the strategies you can deploy using H1B. Search for the job role. We can do data analytics as well. Come in here and I search for a data analyst role. Okay, instead of data science, I come in and search for data analyst, and let's search and see what we get. Okay, again, it might take a while for it to come up, but you can rest assured that something would pop up, and this is where you start to see the organizations. You go to the website, you can do this on LinkedIn and you apply. All right, now this is a more tailored approach. Now, when we go to job rights, it's a lot easier, because job rights is not really free. It's free to some extent, but for you to get the full value of job rights, you have to make some payments, but it gets you the results, and the results far outweighs the payments, on the platform. And I'm going to show you what JobRite looks like. Okay, so this is still rolling. I'm just going to leave it to continue rolling, and then we'll go to JobRite. Now, JobRite gives you the opportunity to apply for only visa-sponsored jobs, 100%. So when you are applying, when you start to apply to register on JobRite, one of the things they would ask you, you'd see the the tick box at the bottom. Do you want to apply for only H-1B visas? You tick yes. Okay, you just select yes. So you'd see that when applying on JobRite. I'll see if I can bring that and show you what the screenshot looks like, so that when you start doing that, you know exactly what to do. Let me bring up just give me 1 second. I'll bring up the screenshots so we have a look. Okay, so when working with JobRite, one of the first things you'd see is you selecting. Yeah, so I'm going to show you what the screenshot looks like, because I'm already subscribed, and you only get to see this when you are registering for the first time. So let me share my screen and show you what it looks like. So when you start to register, okay, so they would ask you to select what your job role is. You enter the job role you're trying to, search for jobs on, the job type, full-time, contract, part-time. And at the bottom, you'd see the work authorization. And this is where you select H-1B sponsorship. Make sure you tick this while registering, okay? So once you have this done, you're home and dry and you're good to go. So let's go to JobRite very quickly, okay? Let's go to JobRite and let me show you how to leverage JobRite. If you're in the US, you are searching for jobs and you want to get that job. So I click on JobRite. JobRite is going to pop up. Okay. Now I have uploaded my CV. So part of the things JobRite would ask you to do is to upload your CV. So once you upload your CV, they match your CV to jobs. Okay. They match your CV to what? To jobs, and show you the percentage match. All right, so let's start. Let's do the data analyst and see. So I come in here and it's just like you chatting with ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm telling JobRite that what? Search for data analyst jobs. Okay, and JobRite would run, show me that, okay, you requested for this, I've gotten you data analyst jobs. Click on go. And the moment I click on go, it would show me the data analyst jobs available. Now remember, while registering, we had ticked, show me only H-1B, sponsored jobs. And all these jobs are H-1B sponsored. And the beauty is you would see your percentage match. So for this, for example, it shows 75%. Okay, 75%. And you scroll down, 81%, 83%, and so on and so forth, 81%, which is a good match. And you keep on scrolling and you see the jobs you can easily apply to. Okay, the jobs you can easily apply to. So you scroll down, you see the jobs that you match, and you start to apply. And they show you the reason why you even have a high match or you have a low match. So let's go to something that shows maybe like 84 or thereabouts. Okay, so this shows 81. All right, so if you look at the experience level, 93%, skill 70, industry experience 80%. And that gives you an average of what? 81% match. All right. So you see that because of my own type of CV, I just uploaded one CV I found, and it's tailored towards a senior role, a higher level role because of my experience in the space. Yours would not, you won't likely see roles like director of data management and so on and so forth. Okay. Your own role will be tailored towards the mid-level where you can get those opportunities. And what this also does for you is if you see a job you want to apply to, all right? So let's take, for example, you want to apply to this job that says data integration lead analyst. and you meet it by only 75%, you have the opportunity to do something we call tailoring your CV to the job you want to apply to. Okay, so if you click on apply now, all right, if you click on apply now, you know, it will tell you so many things you can do with AI, valuable connections. No, I just want to continue to apply. And it takes you to that particular job. All right, so you can see what the requirements are, what it takes for you to apply to that job. But remember, because you've uploaded your CV, it's going to tailor your CV to the number of years of experience, to the type of job, and those are the type of jobs that will pop up for you. This particular job is $125,000 to $188,000. Okay, what do you need to do? What do you need to have? I'm trying to look for the tech stack that you'd be required to learn. I'm not sure they've clearly indicated what you need to learn. Okay, so it takes you to this place and you can then go ahead and apply. Okay, so you do this for a number of time and then JobRite would stop you from applying to more jobs. So we are subscribed to the platform, and what we do is to keep on sending you these jobs that you can apply to that will meet your expectation in terms of the type of jobs you're trying to get. Okay, so this is a fantastic platform that you can leverage when applying to visa-sponsored jobs. JobRite is one of your go-to places. All right, now we're going to leave the US and we're going to move to Canada. And of course, you can search for so many other roles. You can come here, you can type search for business analyst roles. Okay, so I'm just searching for roles randomly, search for business analyst, cybersecurity, and it keeps on popping up new roles. And you see how you meet the requirements and you can go ahead and apply. Okay, so you see IT business lead, analyst, you see VP business analyst, IT business analyst, and so on and so forth. Business analyst with Randstad. Okay, if you click on apply, it takes you to the job. And all you need to do is look at the requirements, tailor your CV to ensure that you meet the requirements of that particular job. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to. Right, so you come to the skills. What skills are required here? Business analyst, business operations, years of experience, 0, and so on. And you look at what it takes. You have the CV, you have the email of the hiring consultant, and then you can send your application and start to access these opportunities. All right, and this is JobRite. Absolutely phenomenal, fantastic platform for you. Now let's go to Canada very quickly because I'm itching to move to the UK and show you the opportunities available. Now, going to Canada, if you want to get sponsorship in Canada, you want to apply to those organizations where they have the opportunity to file an LMIA for you. What is the LMIA? LMIA is simply the Labor Market Impact Assessment. All right, labor market impact assessment. And this simply means that if I'm going to hire you as a foreign worker, either you're outside Canada or you're inside Canada. So you're within Canada as a student, you're on a student visa, you can transition to a work permit. If you're on a visitor visa, you can transition to a work permit. The LMIA is not very easy to get. Okay, it's a bit stringent, it's a bit difficult because the organizations will be proving to you, will proving to the government that you have unique set of skills, and hiring you would have a negative or a neutral impact on the job market, on the labor market. Okay, so that employer has to prove to the government that if they hire you from Nigeria, from Ghana, from South Africa, and they bring you into Canada, it would have a negative, or it would have a negative impact, or it would have a neutral impact on the labor market. So they have to prove that to the government before they can go ahead to issue the LMIA. But then again, how do you leverage resources available? One of the first things you want to do is, I don't want to stress myself when applying to jobs. I want to apply to the organizations that have the opportunity. They've done the LMIA for people, so I know they will do it for me. So same approach, just like the US, okay? These organizations have petitioned for H-1B, so they can do it for me as well. These organizations have filed LMIA, they can do it for me as well. So I've kept the link to the LMIA list. You can access this link, you download it into an Excel file, and you can look at all the different organizations. And we're going to look at it together very quickly, okay? Before I continue, if you're having a great time, type yes into the chat before I go on. If you're having a great time, just type in a yes into the chat as we move on. Type in a yes into the chat. Fantastic. Adewale, Glory, absolutely phenomenal. All right, now let's get back into our session. I'm having a great time too, and I'm itching to move to the UK, like I said earlier. But let's get to the LMIA list. All you have to do, I've kept the link for you, and for you to get access to the link, to my material, to the slides, just ensure you fill the attendance form. So all you have to do is, I need to see this list of organizations so I can target these organizations when I'm applying to jobs, okay? It's a painstaking exercise. It will take your time, but you are getting more positive outcomes because you know exactly what to do, all right? So I'm going to click on this, and it will take me into the Government of Canada's website, and I'm going to share that with you right away on my screen. All right, so it takes you here to the Government of Canada's website, where you have the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, Positive Labor Market Impact Assessment Employer Lists. So all the employers that have gotten a positive LMIA from the government, you can access them from here, from 2014 till date. So all you need to do is scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay, I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you have Q1 2024. So you can do maybe Q4 2023, Q1 2024, you know, to see the list if you have changes. But usually the most updated would have the updated organizations where you can apply to these jobs. So I'll come in here, click on this link. Okay. It takes me to where I can download the file. So I come in here and click on download, and it downloads it into an Excel file. All right, it downloads it into Excel, and you'll see that right here. And I can open it up by just clicking on it, and let's see what the list looks like. So I'll open it up on Excel. I'll share my screen, and let's see what the list looks like. Okay, so it's opened up. I'm just going to drag this to the screen where you can see exactly what I'm doing. And it's very important that when applying to jobs, we're not just going to LinkedIn, applying to all types of jobs. You have a strategy, and that's what we do at 10 Analytics. But for you to get positive outcomes, positive results, you must have a strategy that works. Okay, so now you have this list, you have all the different provinces, the programs, global talent stream, agriculture, high wage, low wage, and so on. The employer, the address, the occupation, the incorporation status, the number of approved LMIAs, and the positions approved for that particular job role. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to do a very quick search. Okay, and I'll quickly search. I'll put a filter right here, insert a filter right at the top. Or you can insert this filter. We're not learning Excel, but you can click on this from your home tab at the right-hand side. You'd see sort and filter. You click on that and you click on filter. Okay, so this would insert a filter for you. So I can click on the drop down, for example, and I can type into the search. I want to search for specific type of roles because I want to see the organizations that has offered, LMIA in the past in Q1 this year. And I want to see the job role. I want to see the organization. I want to see the province so I can start to target those organizations. Okay. So I can come in here, type cyber, no cyber. I can type data, and you'd see a whole lot of data entry, database analysts, and data administrators. Now, Canada, I'll deselect this and select only these two: data entry clerks, database analysts, and data administrators. Now, Canada has a very unique way of coding and the titles they give the different job roles, all right? So when you look at the data analyst role, the data scientist role, sometimes they couch it under database analyst. It's very strange. I find it very strange, or database administrators. Okay, so when you search for this, you'd see different database analyst roles, database administrators. Bear in mind, as a database administrator, you can get that job if you're a data engineer. As a database analyst, you can get that job as a data analyst. Who is a database analyst? You are working with the database, managing the database, using what? SQL, structured query language. Okay, and this is one of the skills you learn as a data analyst. So you look at this and you scroll down to look at all the different organizations. Okay, so one thing I want to do is I also want to see how many approved LMIAs. I want to rank it from the top to the bottom. So I come to approved LMIAs, click on the drop down, and I'll sort it from the largest to the smallest. Okay, so show me from the largest to the smallest. So I can start to see, okay, in Quebec, you have under the global talent stream, Alton Canada Incorporated in Montreal. What did they do? They filed LMIAs for database analysts, database administrators. 2 positions were approved, 2 LMIAs were filed. Again, you have Momentum Technologies, same, global talent stream, Quebec, and so on, 2. And this is where you start to see the organizations. How do you target these organizations? You can do it in several ways. You can go on Google, just like I showed you with the first one, using Meta platforms, or you can simply copy the organization, Momentum Technologies. I'll copy this and I'll go on LinkedIn. Okay, so let's go on LinkedIn very quickly. So I'll go on LinkedIn and I want to search. I'll paste it in there, Momentum Technologies Incorporated. And there are so many different organizations, but let's click on the first one that pops up. So Momentum Technologies, and let's see what we have. All right, so we know it's the organization because this is in Quebec, Canada. It aligns with what we have on the Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on View Page to see the organization. All right, View Page. So you can see about the organization, the contact info, their phone number, but I want to click on jobs. I want to see the jobs they have available, if these are jobs I can apply to. All right, so I'll come in here and I'll click on jobs. So they currently have 3 jobs available. All right, the first one, it's written in French. Okay, so you can see it's written in French, analysts, programmer, BI. What does this mean? BI analyst, a business intelligence analyst. And we're going to check the requirements for this job and see what the requirement looks like. So they have analyst programmer, okay, and they have analyst programmer front end. These are the 3 jobs they have open at the moment. But I'm very confident that as a data analyst completing a data science program, I can apply to this job as a BI analyst. So I'm going to click on BI analyst and let's see what the job entails from Momentum Technologies. All right, and let's look at the skills. What skills are highlighted here? SQL, structured query language, extract, transform, and load, ETL, which is everything you're going to learn as a data analyst. As a data scientist, you'd also learn the same. So this is written in French because Quebec, they speak French predominantly. So, but when you look at the skills required for this job, you see you have Power BI, okay, Power BI, you'd see you have SQL. And this is what I tell people all the time. As a data analyst, you're going to learn Power BI, you're going to learn Tableau, you're going to learn SQL, you're going to learn problem solving, you're going to learn Excel, and you can apply to a BI analyst role. So we look at this, and this is where we start to apply to this job. Okay, so we've seen the company from the spreadsheets. We've searched for them on LinkedIn, we found them. In case you don't find them on LinkedIn, what do? You go to Google, search, and then you go to their career page and see the jobs they have available. And even if they don't have any position available for you to join at that point in time, what do? You can send messages to people within the organization, all right? So when you searched for Momentum Technologies, it showed you the organization itself, all right? If you click on people right here, you'd see the type of people that work in the company, their skills, the skill sets, where they studied, and so on and so forth, okay? What do they do? What skills do they have? And you'd see SQL, Oracle database, JavaScript, MySQL, and so on and so forth. Now, you can easily search for people within the organization. If you don't want to, if you want to reach out to somebody specifically within that company. So when you search for the company, it showed us this, right? You can simply click on what? People. Okay, and you'd see people that work in that organization. And you can start to search for the hiring manager, for the HR manager. You craft a very short message, you send it to them, and they can start to look into, you as an opportunity to get into the organization. So this is one way you can leverage, the job list, the LMIA list in Canada. You see all the organizations that have given LMIA in the past. So you know that they can also give you that job. Very, very important. All right. You can leverage other platforms like Workopolis. We are running out of time, so I'm not going to dwell too much on that. You can leverage Workopolis. You can also leverage another fantastic website is the Job Bank. Okay, so what the Job Bank does for you is it already shows you organizations from the government that have gotten LMIAs, and you can search for the jobs directly. All right, so if I click on the Job Bank, for example, so I'll just show you this briefly, and then we move to the UK. So if I click on the Job Bank, it takes me to the Canadian government's website. And one of the first things you'd see is find a new job in Canada, search jobs from Canadian employers who want to recruit temporary foreign workers. These employers have already obtained or applied for a labor market impact assessment, LMIA. All right, and they currently have over 11,000, almost 12,000 jobs available. So you can start to search. You click on search, you type in the job role, and you start to search for the jobs. But remember, Canada has a very funny nomenclature when it comes to labeling their jobs. And these are the things we also provide to our participants. When you're searching for a data analyst role, type this. When searching for a data science role, and it's also good for you to know the NOC code. Okay, the NOC code shows you clearly the career path you are applying to as well, if you are focused on Canada. But now we're going to move to the UK very quickly. All right, so we start to wrap up, and then I can take questions from you. Now, the UK, I would say, when it comes to resources on applying to sponsor jobs, the UK beats the US and Canada. They have immense resources. Now, some of these resources are not paid. Some of them are paid. Okay, we focus on the paid resources. Why do we focus on the paid resources? Because you get to find those jobs that you won't find on LinkedIn, you won't find on read.co.uk, on Glassdoor, on Indeed, on CV Library. You don't find them there, but you find them on these websites. All right. And one of the websites, the most fantastic one that we leverage is UK Visa Jobs. UK Visa Jobs. So I'm going to go to UK Visa Jobs very quickly. And then I would also show you NHS jobs. And the reason why our participants, we have over 54 of them working with the NHS. The NHS is an organization that will give you that sponsorship when you're able to get the job with them as a business architect, data analyst, data scientist, project manager, and so on and so forth. But let's start with UK Visa Jobs. It is paid. It is a paid platform, okay? But we have, subscribed to UK Visa Jobs, and we provide our participants with the links for them to apply to jobs, okay? So it's a paid platform, but you get those jobs from us twice every week at the minimum. Now let's click on UK Visa Jobs very quickly. And let me show you what it looks like. And this is where you get all the jobs you see here are visa sponsored, all of them. So these are organizations that will give you a certificate of sponsorship, a COS, and you can apply for a skilled worker visa and so on, all right? So this is UK Visa Jobs. You are a step closer to achieving your dream. And you see that clearly indicated. Apply for students, graduates, and experienced higher jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK. Now, all we need to do is click on search jobs. Okay, so once you click on search jobs, you can then check different job roles, search for different jobs, and this is where you start to see where the opportunities are. And of course, before you even start to search, you see so many roles. There are over 11,463 visa sponsored jobs right here. You can break it down based on the job type, the degree requirements, the job industry, your location. But I always tell people, you cannot constrain yourself to a specific location if you are looking for sponsorship. You must be ready to move from London to Manchester. You must be ready to move from Aberdeen to Leeds. You must have that at the back of your mind, that there's a tendency for you to change location, for you to start a job, that'll give you that sponsorship. Okay, so let's do a very quick search, all right? Let's search for business analyst. Okay, now one other thing you would get to realize with UK Visa Jobs, which we also help our participants to do, the title you enter into the search must be very specific. So you're not going to search for a data analyst role and you see all the possible roles you can apply to. No. If you want to apply for a business intelligence analyst role, you have to type it specifically. If you want to apply for a governance and risk analyst as a cybersecurity professional, you have to type it in specifically. So we go through that painstaking process for you, searching for the jobs and sending the most appropriate ones that you can apply to. So business analyst, I click on search. Let's see. So you have about 58 visa sponsored jobs for a business analyst. And you can start to look at them. Okay, senior business analyst, sustainability, senior business analyst with NatWest. NatWest is an organization that are always recruiting and giving sponsorship. So we have about 2 of our participants working NatWest. So you can click on this. It will take you to the job. Let's see. So it takes you to the website, right? So this particular job is in Edinburgh, Canada. And today's date is what, 24th. So it closes on the 27th of August. So anybody who wants to apply, you need to apply as fast as possible, all right? So what skills do you need as a business analyst? So you come in here to look at what you'll be expected to do. You'll be expected to create and maintain documentation, support controls, quality assurance for key stakeholders, lead and support planning, analysis and design, implementation of tasks, document. These are basic things you would learn as a business analyst. And I'll share the curriculum with you. And that's where we're going to wrap up with session today. What skills do you need? Collaborative approach, ability to build productive relationships with stakeholders. Stakeholder management, stakeholder analysis is a key skill for any business analyst, all right? Experience delivering business and technology change. As a business analyst, you're a change agent, okay? So that's all you need, essentially. You can apply to this job and you can get this opportunity, and it comes with sponsorship. A lot of organizations would not state that the job comes with sponsorship, and that's what UK visa jobs would do for you, all right? So you can see coding business analyst with the NHS, IT business analyst with Citibank, Oracle business analyst, and so on and so forth, okay? You can also go, let's search for a data scientist, and let's see if data scientists, let's see if we have any jobs. So data scientist, senior data scientist, senior data scientist with the NHS. Monzo, we have participants that have gone through our program working with Revolut, similar organization to Monzo. So you can apply to these jobs, click on it, see what the requirement is, and you can start to apply. Okay, let's check this one for Barclays and see what the role entails in terms of, so just give me 1 second, let me do this quickly. Oops, okay, it's taking me back to home. Sorry, let's just try once again. I just want to see what the requirements would look like as a data scientist working with Barclays. So what's the purpose? Okay, so there you go. You may be assessed on key critical skills such as your data analytics skills, problem solving, financial crime, SQL, and Python. And these are basic fundamentals that you learn as a data scientist. And you start to see that, look, for somebody like Ikmat who got the job, for somebody like Vivian who got a job, this was exactly what they did and how they were able to access these opportunities eventually. Now, very quickly, I'm going to go to NHS jobs. I'm not going to waste time. Okay, let me just click on the site right here. So I'll go to NHS jobs. Let's see what type of jobs you can apply to with the NHS. And the reason why we always like to focus on the NHS, even though they don't pay the best salary, the NHS would not pay you the best, but guess what? They'll give you that sponsorship, all right? And that's why we have over 54 of our alumni working with the NHS. So you come to search for jobs. I've kept all the links for you. You come in here. Let's type project manager, okay? Project manager, all right? And let's search and see if there are project management roles available. And you'd see project manager with different NHS, trusts across different regions. Project manager. This closed yesterday. Sorry, this will close tomorrow, 25th. This closes on the 30th, and so on. So you see these amazing jobs and you start to apply. Again, the NHS salary is not fantastic, okay? But when it comes to getting that COS, you have a very high chance of getting that with the NHS. All the people that got jobs that completed the Tenalytics program, got jobs with the NHS, they all got visa-sponsored jobs. They got their COS and they were able to apply. All right, so we can also search, let's check business analyst, okay, and let's see data engineer and so on, business analyst, IT business analyst, digital portfolio business analyst band 6, business intelligence analyst, and so on, business insights analyst, and so on and so forth. Now, how do you not get a job when you know exactly where to search? You know exactly what to do. And this is what has made Tenalytics participants so successful. when it comes to landing the job. You know where to apply, you know how to apply, and we have practical sessions to walk you through all these different aspects, and you know exactly what you need to do. Now, for those in Canada, there are more strategies to deploy, and one of them is leveraging recruitment agencies. Okay, so there are so many of them: Michael Page, Hayes, Outpost Canada, Work Global. These are places, recruitment agencies, that you upload your CV. All right, and how do you approach it? You go on Google, search for these recruitment agencies, go to their websites, create a profile, upload your CV, and call to follow up. They want to do a first phone call interview with you to build a profile. You do that, and this is where you start to get opportunities. They need you. They want you just as much as you need them. So make no mistake that, oh, you don't think you can get the job. They want you just as much as you need them. All right. So you want to go into these websites, create your profile, upload your CV. And these are the things we do for our participants. We show you what to do practically. But of course, our session today is a 2.5-hour session. I can't do everything at once. Now we're going to move into those key factors. So we've seen where to apply. If you're in the US, you want to leverage job rights. You want to go to h1bvisa.info. If you're in Canada, you want to get the list. You want to see the list of organizations that have done and applied, filed for an LMIA, and that's where you also start to get opportunities by targeting the organizations that you would want to work for. All right. Now, before we go on with the rest of our session, I want to hear from you. If you've had a great time, just type into the chat, I'm having a great time, I'm enjoying the session, let's go, let's keep on going. Adeza, just type into the chat and let's see those that are having a great time before we move on. Let's go. Glory says, let's go. Let's keep on going. I'm having a great time. Absolutely fantastic. Having a fabulous time. Fantastic. Now, what I want to do is walk you through the key factors. You selected specific career path, data analytics, data science, business analysis. What must you do to ensure that you position yourself before you even start applying to these jobs? All right, what must you do? So let's remember the 6-step approach. When you select your desired career path, you must learn the skill, gain project-based experience, gain employability skills, network, and mentorship. But how do we play a role across all these 6 factors? And that's what I'm going to walk you through very quickly. So let's assume you are currently a customer service representative. You've identified your specific career path. Now it's time for you to start. The first thing is to learn. And what we do at Analytics is expose you to a blended learning approach. So your learning approach is in such a way that you have the opportunity to learn at your own pace. You have a self-paced learning, and then you have your live classes. So now imagine you are a slow learner. Slow learners would want to take their time, watch the video, rewind, reverse, go back, watch again, time and time again. And you have a live class. Your live classes are designed for your practical. This is where you are with your trainer, you are with your facilitator, and you are working on projects together. Okay, and I'm going to show you what the platforms look like. How do you learn? What does the platform look like? And all you have to do is, once you join Analytics, you join our learning management system. And this is where you get to learn, working at your own pace, and at the same time, working with experts every single Saturday. So Saturday, you have your live classes. And this is what the platform looks like. So you have a structured learning approach. So you get onboarded into this platform. Welcome back, Adeza. So if you are joining Glory, for example, you'd have welcome back, Glory. And let's say you've registered for the financial analytics program. Okay, all you have to do, come back here, click on continue learning. and you have access to all your materials. You can watch your video at your convenience on Sundays, on Mondays, on Tuesdays, and watch the videos step by step. Introduction to Excel and data cleaning. You come in here, you watch your video, play the video. It is a watch me do it video. You watch and you practice. So this is what you do. This is the self-paced approach of you learning, all right? But it doesn't end with the self-paced. So once you've practiced on your own all through the week, you've watched your videos at your own convenience, you then have the live sessions where you have a trainer like myself walking you through Excel, walking you through Python, walking you through building machine learning models. As a business analyst, you have an expert walking you through projects. And that's where you have your live classes. So depending on the program you've joined, you would have your live sessions. And this is the platform for the live session. So let's say you registered for the Agile Scrum Master program, okay? So let's go to the Agile Scrum Master. So you have access to your live classes, So every Saturdays, when you have a live class, you jump on, go to the particular class you have. So this class started in August, started this month on the 3rd of August. You have your welcome session, okay? You have your onboarding materials, and then you have your very first class, the foundation of project management. So these are live sessions. And if for any reason you miss the class, the recordings are always available for you. So you have the recording to the session, okay? So you have the material. So if I click on this, you have your material, foundation of project management. And this is the Agile Project Management program, okay? So you have access to the slides, all the things you do on that particular day. And if you miss this session, for example, what do? You simply come to the recording and you have access to watch exactly what happened in class on that particular day, okay? So you come in here, you'd see the session, okay? You have your trainer, you have your experts. Josephine is the most fantastic professional you'd ever want to learn from, okay? So she's going to walk you through the essentials, what to do, and this is a live session. So everything that happened in that class, you can go over it step by step, all the questions that were asked, and this is part of your resources, okay? So the second class, the same thing, you have access to all the materials, and this is how you learn at Analytics. Is a structured learning approach, a blended learning approach, self-paced and also live. Now, what if you have an interview? What do you do? What if you have your mentorship sessions? What do you do? So in your LMS, your dashboard, you have access to schedule your interview sessions. So you started applying to jobs, you have interviews. What do? You come in here, click on schedule appointments, and you have the opportunity to select, okay, I've joined the Scrum Master program, Agile Project Management. Click on next. I want to schedule an appointment. Click here. It takes you to Calendly, and you have the opportunity to select the date, the time that is preferable to you. A date is available tomorrow, for example, on Sunday. So if you want to prepare, have an interview, your interview is on Monday, you want to select Sunday, you have the opportunity to do that. You look at the times that are available, select your preferred timing, okay? Enter your name, enter your email, and enter the job description. And somebody will jump on that call, prepare you for your interview, all right? You also have the opportunity to request for a reference. Like I said, before you get that job, organizations would want you to provide a reference. So you can do that right here. Your mentorship sessions are all uploaded into this place. So once you click on mentorship, say you are in the cybersecurity program, you go to cybersecurity view, and you have access to all the mentorship materials, okay? Your interview preparation sessions, you have sessions that I took, for example, don't wait until you meet all the criteria, apply to that job with Adeza Suleiman. So you have the opportunity to watch these sessions over and over again, even though they were live sessions, but they get uploaded on your platform and you have unlimited access, lifetime access to these materials. So I can click on this, for example, and I can watch the session that I took, learn all the things that I need to know on how to get started, where to apply, how to apply, and all the strategies to deploy to get these jobs. Okay, so that was me taking the session. My hair was still a little bit fuller at that point in time. All right, and these are the materials that you have for you to, that you have your CV optimization sessions, how to use ChatGPT to tailor your CV with Adeza Suleiman. So I'll show you how do you use ChatGPT as a tool to tailor your previous experience to your current career path. You are a customer service professional. Now you want to become a business analyst. How do you tailor your CV? So I walk you through that using ChatGPT to tailor. So there are 2 sessions, okay, the part 1 and the part 2, all you need to know, all right? Job application, don't wait. You must get a job. This was taken by Femena. All the strategies to use, also leveraging tools like ChatGPT, JobScan, Job Analytics. You have access to all these materials. Your LinkedIn optimization, your employability sessions, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the way you learn. It is all encompassing. You're not just learning by watching videos on YouTube. You are learning by learning from people who are currently on the job and they've done it, they've gone ahead of you. Once you've learned in a self-paced environment, you've also joined your live sessions. What must you also do? You must build a portfolio. Remember, your portfolio is your showroom, okay? And I'm going to show you what a typical portfolio looks like. So you start to understand the importance of having a portfolio. Now, let's look at, this is a data engineering portfolio from GAD. If you click on the link right here, which you'd have access to, as long as you fill the attendance form, make sure you fill the attendance form. Right? So once you click on the link, it takes you to GAD's portfolio, all right? So he joined our data engineering program and you must build a portfolio. Now, your portfolio is your showroom of the projects you have worked on. So anybody anywhere in the world can look at the type of projects you've worked on and have insights into your skills and eventually get you that job. Okay, so this is a particular data pipeline, NYC payroll data integration pipeline built by Gad. Okay, so if you click on the link, you have access to look at the project that Gad completed, the description of the project, the tools he used. He used Azure Blob Storage, the Blob Container, Azure Data Factory, SQL Database, SQL Server, and Power BI. All right, and you have step-by-step description to all the things Gad was able to do, the visual representation. And if you want to look at the code, you have access to look at the code, you know, look at all the things he was able to build, and you get very clear insights into what Gad was able to do, and you can assess his skills. You can go to energy efficient residential building model, which is another project done by Gad. Okay, you have clearly described, you know, process of all the things he did. What was the objective? The objective was to, using Google Colab to focus on developing predictive models for heating and cooling loads based on a comprehensive data set covering building energy performance. All right, and you can look at the codes. If you click on, the Python file, it opens up into the code and you can see all the codes that he wrote. So imagine I'm trying to hire for a data engineer. I can look at what Gad has done because this link to the portfolio would be on his CV. And this is where recruiters can feel, touch the quality that they would want to hire before they even reach out to you. All right. So this is what a portfolio looks like. And this is for a data engineer. The data analyst is a bit different. Okay. Similar platform, but a bit different. So if you click on Victoria's portfolio, for example, you'd see what Victoria built as a data analyst. Everybody, it doesn't matter the program you join, you get to build a portfolio. This is Victoria's portfolio. Okay, so she builds a dashboard for a hospital showing the emergency room and how to, she gave recommendation on how to reduce the patient wait time by 15% and increase customer rating by 20%. All right. And this is what a data analyst portfolio looks like. You see the different projects she's worked on, and anybody who has a link can see the same. And this is where you start to get opportunities. So once you've learned the skill, remember, you must build that portfolio. Very, very important. Once you've built your portfolio, the next thing for you is gain employability skills. You must have the right CV. So we work with you to tailor your CV to job requirements. You have sessions, practical live sessions, where you know how to tailor your CV to job requirements. You have your LinkedIn optimization sessions, how to navigate the job market. What we've done today is an extract of what? Navigating the job markets in the UK, in the US, and Canada. But we tailored it to sponsored jobs, visa-sponsored jobs. But when you are doing the navigating the job market session on a larger scale, you are looking at numerous jobs from different angles: LinkedIn, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, FlexJobs, Built-in, Remote.co, and so on and so forth. So we show you where to apply, how to apply, what you need to do, and all the different strategies for you to take. Your interview preparation. You can't go into the room not knowing what to say, all right? Your job reference, on the job support. So now you've gotten the job, but there's a project you found that is a bit difficult for you, but you know that you have 10 analytics right behind you to support you all through your journey to ensure that you are able to maintain and keep that job. And finally, you have your networking and mentorship sessions. And this is what gets you the job in the 6-step approach. The power of networking. I can't overemphasize the importance of your networking and your mentorship. Now, how has this benefited participants at 10 Analytics? Stephen got a job as a data analyst in Scotland, in Glasgow. After getting this job, 2 other roles were available. The HR consultant reached out to him and said, "Hey, Stephen, these roles are available. Do you know anybody you can recommend?" Now, we had worked with Stephen, prepared him for his interview, and this is where Stephen sent me a message. "Hello, sir. It's Anointing Stephen. I just want to say a big thank you for providing me with a reference." So we prepared him for his interview, worked with him, provided him with a reference, and so on. Once I secure and start my offer, I would like to give insights and testimony in any of the mentorship sessions. So what we've also done is we've brought back Stephen to mentor people that are getting started, people like you. So you also know, what did Stephen do right? How was he able to land this job? But what is even more, interesting about Stephen's position is Stephen reached out to me saying, "I'm still getting more offers." And the HR consultant wanted him to provide anybody who is solid enough so that he can recommend them. Now, what happened? I said, absolutely, I would share some solid profiles. We got CVs from people in our program and we shared them, and eventually they got these jobs. And this is how being in a strong alumni community can help you secure that job faster than you trying to figure it out yourself. Another very quick story: Sunday at Delucy got a job in the UK with Savant Trent. He joined our data science program. All right. He completed a data science program, got a job as a regulatory data analyst in the UK, left the job and got a job as a data science specialist about a year after. Now, another role became available. When Sunday got this job in June 2024, another role became available for a data specialist. And one of our participants, who was also a part of the training, we shared the message, shared it in the community. And Oluwaseun applied to that job, and Oluwaseun was able to get the job with Severn Trent. While Sunday started his job in June 2024, Oluwaseun started his in July 2024, simply because of the fact that Sunday had, supported and walked Oluwaseun through his transition journey. Oluwaseun also joined our data science program, and he was able to secure this job as a data delivery specialist. All right, and this is the power of being in a fantastic alumni community where you start to get opportunities, right? So what does the structure of the program look like? If you want to get into business analysis, for example, I'm not going to dwell on this because of time, but you must always remember that the skills you need to learn, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, that's where it all starts from. And then you move into process mapping. Remember, the business analyst ensures that a process that takes 5 days, you are able to reduce it to 1 hour, to 10 minutes. And for you to do that, you need to be able to map out that process. How does it start? How does it end? Using tools like Lucid Charts and Draw.io. So once you've learned Excel, you've learned Power BI, you've learned SQL, this gives you the opportunity to apply to jobs as a business data analyst. Then you go ahead to learn Agile and Scrum for projects, software development lifecycle, requirement fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, and of course, ChatGPT for business analysis, which is AI for business analysis. The program is for 4 months. You'd learn in class for 2 months, and then you'd work on a project during your internship for another 2 months. So the internship is where you bring all your skills into a real world environment. You're going to work on a web application project where you are helping the company optimize their process within the HR department. You'd work with a real life web developer, you'd work with a UI UX designer, you'd work with other key stakeholders, and you would be the business analyst managing the project. On that project, you would practically use tools like Jira to track your project deliverables. You would use Confluence to collaborate on projects. You'd use Trello to manage the task and responsibilities with your team members working on that same project. And this is what gives you the understanding, the skills, and the experience when you get into the interview and you're asked competency-based questions. You don't fumble. You're able to answer those questions because you've done it before. All right. So your classes are on Saturdays and Sundays, and it doesn't matter where you are joining from. If you're in the UK, you have a time that fits your time zone, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're in the US, you're in the US or Canada, you have a time that fits your time zone, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain time. So you could be in the UK, for example, you can't join the class that starts at 11 in the morning. You can join the class later in the day, which would be 6 p.m. your time. All right. So you have the opportunity to join flexible sessions. If you don't meet the morning, you can join the evening, and so on and so forth. Now, on Sundays, you're in the UK, Nigeria, West Africa, similar time zones across Europe, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. If you're in the US or Canada, 12 noon to 3 p.m. All right. And that's for the business analyst, right? For the data analyst, you have amazing technologies. You saw where the BI analysts, when we checked momentum in Quebec, in Canada, we saw that you need SQL and you need Power BI. And I told you specifically, as a data analyst, you can apply to jobs as a BI analyst, sales analyst, product analyst, and so on and so forth. So you start with problem solving because this is where you get the skills to understand problems and how to approach using different techniques to getting problems solved. All right. The McKinsey-Macy model, the prioritization matrix, using tools like the CRISP-DM framework to approach problem. You need to know the problem before you solve it. You need to know if you have the data to solve that problem before you even go ahead. So you start from problem solving. Then you move into Excel, one of the most versatile data analytic tools. Then you move to SQL, structured query language, to interact with databases. Organizations will store their data in a database. You need to know how to interact with that database, extract your data from that database. You would learn how to use Power BI for your data visualization, data analytics, and as well as Tableau. Tableau would pretty much do the same thing as Power BI, but you understanding the two gives you access to numerous more opportunities. So when you see that job that says Power BI, you can apply. If you see the other job that has a preference for Tableau, you can go ahead and apply. And then you learn data storytelling, which is where you are communicating the findings from the analysis you've done. And this is where you give that compelling reason why your recommendation should be adopted based on the analysis you've done. All right. So you learn the art of data storytelling. You also learn ChatGPT for analytics as a data analyst, and Microsoft Fabric, which is a platform that enables you to carry out so many different analytics, solutions in one single platform. I could be in Alberta, Canada. Somebody else could be in Australia. I'll build a data lake in Microsoft Fabric, and the person in Australia can work on that same data lake to build a Power BI dashboard or to write SQL queries to carry out certain analysis. The data analytics program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. And you have your live classes only on Saturdays. So on Saturday, you have a live class, like today, for example. So you have a live class. It doesn't matter where you are. You're in the UK, you're in Canada, you're in the US. You have a class that fits your time zone. In the UK, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're in Europe, similar time zone, that class fits your time zone. If you're in the US or in Canada, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. On Sundays, you don't have a live class. You have a self-paced class. So you go to your LMS and you watch your videos, you practice ahead of the next class the following Saturday, where you get to work on projects. All right. The data science, you start with statistics. That's the foundation for data science. You move into forecasting and predictive analytics using Excel. A lot of people learn data science, equivalent to building a house by starting from the roof. You can't become a data scientist by starting with Python. And I see a lot of people making that mistake. And that's why you struggle. You don't have a good foundation and you really can't get that job because you haven't learned the foundation. You haven't built a solid background. Data science is hinged around statistics. Okay, and that's where you have to start from. So you learn statistics, you move into predictive analytics using Excel. Then you learn Tableau for data analytics and predictive analytics. Then you add SQL to your skills, structured query language, before you move into Python. You'd use Python for your exploratory data analysis, machine learning, computer vision, and you'd learn version control using GitHub, ChatGPT, and GitHub Copilots for AI, for data science, and finally, Microsoft Fabric. The class structure is similar to the data analytics class structure. 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship, and you have the opportunity to join your live classes on Saturdays, and on Sundays, you have your self-paced class, where you get to watch your videos on the LMS at your own convenience. And finally, you have data engineering, where you start with introduction to data engineering, and your bread and butter as a data engineer is SQL and Python. As a data engineer, you are building the infrastructure that would store the data. You are building the pipelines that would move the data from one location to the location where the data analysts and the data scientists can access that data. So you'd create a data warehouse as a data engineer. The data scientist can go to that data warehouse to get data the data analyst can go to that data warehouse to get data. So without the data engineer, you can't access data for analysis. So the data engineer builds that data warehouse. And you do that using technologies like SQL and Python. SQL is for your data warehousing, your databases, while Python is for your ETL pipelines. Then you learn Linux for your bash scripting. You build ETL pipelines, get data from databases, APIs, scrape data from the web. You learn how to use Apache Spark. You learn how to use Airflow for your data pipeline orchestration, automation, and scheduling. You learn AWS cloud engineering, including GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and also Microsoft Azure. And these are the three major cloud infrastructure that you learn as a data engineer. You'd learn version control with GitHub and GitHub and ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot and ChatGPT for data science. The program is for 5 months. It's a little bit longer than the data analytics and data science. You'd learn for 3 months and you'd work on an end-to-end project during your internship for 2 months. You have classes that are also tailored to specific different locations. So if you're in the UK, Africa, similar time zones, on Saturdays, you have your class from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're in the US, your class would be from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time, if you're in the US or in Canada. So you have a class. Saturdays is when you have your live class. Sundays, you have your self-paced sessions for your blended learning approach. So there's no pressure on you. You watch your videos on Sundays, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at your own convenience. And on Saturdays, you have your live session. The financial and the HR analysts, similar programs. Financial analysts, you start with problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, just like the data analyst. And these are your data skills. A financial analyst is a data analyst that focuses on what? So you're a data analyst, but your focus is on financial records. So you're helping the organization determine its financial health. You're looking at profitability, return on investment, return on equity. You're looking at areas for cost optimization. You are looking at different changes in the economy. If you have one regulatory change, inflation, interest rates, how does it affect the industry? How does it affect the business? Carrying out sensitivity and scenario analysis. So you're a data analyst, but the focus for you is on analyzing financial data, okay? So you're going to learn your data skills, just like the data analyst. And then you go ahead to learn accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, where you're building your financial model from scratch, your best case, worst case, base case, and so on. You learn valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and ChatGPT for financial analytics. The time structure is exactly the same as the data analytics. 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. And you have classes tailored to your different regions. If you're in the UK, you have a class that fits your time zone. US, Canada, class that fits your time zone. And on Sundays, you don't have a live class. You have your self-paced class on the LMS. The HR analyst is exactly like the financial analyst. You are also a data analyst. But this time around, you don't focus on different types of data. You focus on what? People data. Okay? People data or HR data. So you are that person in the organization helping the organization identify what factors predict employee turnover. So when people are leaving the organization, what are the factors that contribute to employee turnover? What part of the training budget drives the business results? So when you send employees for training, what part of that budget drives results that they come back and they're able to get your return on investment for the training you've sent them on? Which of the different hiring sources gives you the best results. So when you hire from LinkedIn, you hire from your website, you hire through HR consultants, which of these three talent sourcing pipelines gives you the best results in terms of loyalty, in terms of performance, so you can keep on doing what? Implementing similar strategies. So you are learning data analytics skills, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. But this time around, you are learning these data analytics skills to analyze people-related data. So you'll also learn HR analytics and performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and report automation, and of course, building your case and creating action. And finally, ChatGPT for analytics. So when you see an organization deciding that all our employees would come from LinkedIn, and all our employees must have come from a particular university, that's because they've done the analysis to see where they get their best employees from. All right. You also want to know the factors that are leading your employees to leave the organization. So if you know those factors, you can start to have something called stay interviews instead of exit interviews. If I know why you're likely going to leave, or the factors that have led to other people leaving, I can identify groups of people that have the potential to leave the organization, and I can address their challenges, have stay interviews with them, and they don't get to leave. And that's the power of the HR analyst. The program is similar to the financial analyst in terms of timeline and also the classes. We're looking at the final two programs, the Agile Project Manager. The Agile Project Manager, you are not just your conventional project manager, you're a servant leader. You are a project manager implementing the Agile framework, ensuring that you are able to deliver on projects by leveraging the different frameworks under Agile, which includes Scrum, Kanban, Lean. All right. You remove impediments to ensure that your team members are able to perform to their best, the best of their abilities, and so on and so forth. So you're going to learn introduction to project management, the methodologies and structures. You learn project management skills and communication, the foundation of Agile and Scrum, the Scrum framework, the Scrum artifacts. You'd learn the advanced Agile practices, end-to-end use of Jira and Confluence. Jira for tracking your project deliverables, Confluence for project collaboration, and also tracking tasks within projects. You learn how to use Kanban for your workflow management. You learn the Agile metrics and reporting, your velocity, your burn-up, burn-down charts, leadership, real-world case scenarios, your Nexus Skills Scrum, and we also prepare you for the Professional Scrum Master certification. The program is also for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. Your internship would be in collaboration with the business analyst, where you'd help the HR department of that organization to do what? To optimize their processes. So the business analyst would identify the requirements, stakeholder analysis, and so on and so forth. And you would be the implementer of the Agile methodology on that project. So you'd work together with the business analyst on that particular project. And that's where you start to gain the experience to perform as an Agile project manager. Your classes, Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And the last career path for today is the cybersecurity career path. And these are the professionals that protect the networks, they protect the systems, they protect the data from both internal and external threats in organizations. So you learn introduction to cybersecurity, foundation of computing and networking, information security principles, offensive and defensive cybersecurity, cryptography, including encryption, decryption, cyber threats and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security, incident response and forensics, and finally, cybersecurity policies and compliance. So you want to get into the aspect of GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. The cybersecurity program covers that aspect for you. If you want to get into threat intelligence, penetration testing, ethical hacking, the program also covers that for you. And finally, if you want to get into forensics, okay, the program also covers that for you. So the cybersecurity program is a fantastic program that gets you started as a cybersecurity professional within the tech ecosystem. The program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, and 1 month internship. All right, Saturdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Sundays 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Now remember the T+E equation. You can't get a job with just a technical skill. Your technical skills are a given. Every employer expects that you would have this. So it's technical plus employability, and that's what gets you the job. So if you don't take anything away from today's session, make sure you take this away. There are more success stories. I'm not going to bore you with the success stories. You'd have the opportunity to go through the success stories when you receive the slides to the session, the video recording, and you can get to see the amazing professionals and how they've been able to make their own transition as well. How Sonia was able to get a job as a HR analyst in the UK, how Idris was able to work with Jaguar Land Rover in the UK and currently working with QuantSpark in London as a senior analytics engineer. Ramat moving from a customer success role into becoming a business architect, working with the NHS, full visa sponsorship after completing our business analysis program. Now we've come to the very end of our program today, but the question people have been asking, sending me DMs, Adeza, how do I get started? I want to join the program. How do I get a job? How do I implement all these things you've shown me today? And the answer is very simple. We have a cohort starting on the 7th of September, all right? And for the people interested in being a part of these cohorts, like I said at the beginning, I have an amazing discount for you. Amazing discount, 20% right off the bat, all right? So if you want to get started in any of the programs, you have access to 20%, but it's not for everybody. We opened up the discounts about 3 weeks ago towards the beginning, at the beginning of August, all right? Now, what happened? The slots got filled up almost immediately, and a lot of requests came in. Adeza, can you open up the discount again? The classes haven't started. Give us the opportunity. So we opened up the discounts for the first 20 about 2 weeks ago, but now we filled up that slot. We are giving the discounts to the first 15 people who wants to join any of the programs we have listed today, either the business analyst, the data analyst, the cybersecurity analyst. And like I mentioned earlier, the opportunity you get is working with the best in the industry, getting the technical skill, getting the employability skill, which a lot of people don't have. And that's where you start to get opportunities. So rather than paying $750, if you're paying in dollars, you get to pay just $600. So $150 discount right off the bat. If you're paying in pounds, rather than paying $625, you get to pay just $500. And by taking advantage of the discounts, you can make your payments in 2 installments. The first installment to get you into class, and the second installment a month after you start your program. All right. So if you're paying in dollars, for example, instead of paying $750, you get to pay $600. And by taking advantage of these discounts, you can break it into 2 installments. The first installment of $400 to get started on the 7th of September. And a month after, you get to pay the balance of $200. If you're paying in pounds, you have the £500 as the discounted fee. You take advantage of the installment payments, $350 to get started, $150 a month after. If you're paying in euros, you get to pay just $580 400 euros to start, 180 1 month after. And if you're paying in Canadian dollars, you have a whopping discounted fee of 900 Canadian, 600 Canadian dollars to start, and then 300 a month after. The discount is only for the first 15. The first set of discounts we had about last week, 2 weeks ago, are all gone. And based on requests, we are making 15 slots available for the next 15 people to get registered in any of the program. Now, how do you get to make payments? I'm going to share how to do that. We'll take questions and then we wrap up our session for today. All you need to do is click on this link. My colleagues would share the link with you. You would have the opportunity to leverage the link. When you also get the slides, the link would be on the slide. You have access to it, or you can also scan the QR code. But remember, the discount is not available for everybody. It's available for those who are ready to get started, the first 15 people to start. So once you click on this link, it takes you into the payment center. And I'll just walk you through exactly what you need to do. So it takes you to the payment center, and you can make payments in different, you have different options. So it takes you to the enrollment center. You have the opportunity, you want to chat with us on WhatsApp, click on chat. You can also reach out to us on any of our phone numbers and so on. You can get access to the program brochures. We click on this link, it takes you to the brochure. So you can look at the data analytics brochure, the data science, and so on. And of course, you can make payments by doing a direct transfer or by paying with your credit or debit card. So if you're doing a direct transfer, for example, you're in Canada, you can pay using Interac. You do your Interac transfer to finance@10analytics.org. All right. So you make your first installment, you get a screenshot, and you come back here to upload your screenshot. So once you've done your transfer, you're doing a transfer to the pound account, you've paid the first installment, £350, or you've done an Interac transfer of 600 Canadian. Take a screenshot, come back here, click on upload your receipts. You fill the form, upload the receipts, and we get all your details. All right. Or you can simply come to pay. You can make payment with your card, your debit or credit card. Okay. Say I want to join the Agile Project Management program, or I want to join the data engineering program. I click on data engineering. It takes me to the data engineering page. And all I have to do, you can select your different currencies right from here. Okay, so you'd see the discounted fee. The discount has already been applied, £500 if I'm paying in pounds. And all I need to do is make my first installment of £350. So I come in here and I simply type 350. Okay, click on reserve a seat. It takes me to this page. I enter my name, I enter my email, enter my phone number. All right, and then you click on pay for products. The moment you click on pay for products, you'll be required to enter your card details, and then you confirm your payments. Once you've made payments, you would receive an automated receipt into your email to confirm you've completed payments, and it comes with a link for you to complete your registration. All right, so you click on that link, you enter your bio data and all of that, and you get onboarded into the program. Okay, so a week before the program starts, the cohort starts on the 7th of September. So at the end of August, the 31st of August, you receive a welcome kit. The welcome kit contains all the things you need for the program. So if I go back to this class, for example, and I scroll all the way to the bottom, you'd see something called welcome kit. So the welcome kit contains the tools you're going to use, how to download and install, your lesson plan, and everything would be in that welcome kit. You also get onboarded into this platform for your live sessions. You get onboarded into the LMS, your learning management system, where you have access to all your materials. Okay, you also have access to, install all the tools and technologies that you'd have to use. So if I click on business analysis, for example, and I go to week 0, you'd see installations. We are going to how to install your Microsoft Office, how to install Power BI on Windows, Power BI on Mac, and finally, how to download and install PostgreSQL. So you get onboarded into the platform a week before the program starts. You have one of these installed, and that's where you have access into the program. Remember, the discount is for the first 15 people to get started, right? And once you've joined the program, everything we've discussed today, your CV review sessions, your LinkedIn optimization, your mentorship every Thursday evening, it's all encompassing. One of the major focus for us at Analytics is on doing one thing, is on getting you the job, all right? So while we equip you with the technical skills in a project-based environment, you also get your CV review sessions. I'll work with you how to leverage ChatGPT, how to leverage JobScan, Job Analytics to tailoring your CV, applying to that job, preparing you for the interview, and you eventually getting the job. And when you get the job, you also have the opportunity to leverage Analytics as your real life work experience. So we provide you with a reference, okay? I'm going to take a pause. I feel like I've been talking and talking, but then I'm going to take a pause and take questions. I haven't really looked into the charts to take questions because I wanted to wrap up at exactly 3:30 my time, and I think I'm just 1 minute behind schedule. All right. So how does the internship work? The internship is very straightforward. The internship is a project-based internship. All right. And I'll show you a very quick example of what the internship would look like. And I would love to take more questions. Okay. So feel free, send your questions into the chat and let's take questions. So let's take, let me see, let's go to the Agile Project Management internship, for example. Remember, I said the Agile Project Managers and the business analysts would work together. Now, you work on a project that is tailored on helping an organization optimize their HR department. So you work on this project with a software developer, you'd have your sprint review meetings. So your onboarding session for the internship, you have the project you're going to work on, a project overview. Because of time, I'd have loved to play the video, but we don't have time for that right now. So you have your project materials, which is your case study of the problem you're going to solve. But how is the project designed? You'd form yourselves in groups. You'd have a business analyst in your group. You'd have an agile project manager in the group. You'd have a software developer in your group. You'd have other professionals like UI, UX designer, and you'd work together to build a solution to optimize that HR department. So you'd actually build a real life application. So you'd have your sprint review sessions every week. So you decide among yourselves in your group. You are 4 in the group, you are 3 in the group, you are 5 in the group, maximum of 5. You agree that, okay, we meet every Monday, we meet every Wednesday, and this is when we have our sprint review. Because in your sprint planning, you'd have planned exactly what you want to do, all right? Your sprint review is when you come back to look at the things you planned to do. Have you done them? And get feedback and stuff like that. So your sprint review sessions, if I click on one of the recordings, for example, you'd see what it looks like. Okay, so this is where the software developer would come up, present what he or she has built, and you would all have feedback as to what needs to be done, what needs to be changed, and so on and so forth. So if you go all the way back to the beginning, I want to go back very quickly. You'd see the team members, okay, the business analyst, the developer, the scrum masters, and the people within that particular group, team erudites, okay, and you have the opportunity, you look at what has been built, the software developer will give updates on what has been done. You have Josephine, who is your trainer, should be in your sprint review meetings to also give you feedback that, okay, you haven't considered this, you haven't done this right, you need to go back to review. You need to go back to make it better. How many story points do you have? And so on and so forth, okay? So that's what your project would look like. At the end of the day, you would have, I just want to show you what the project looks like, okay? So you'd have built this application, all right, which is a HR application where employees, rather than sending emails if they want to go on leave, they can now do what? Go into the portal that you have built. You've managed this particular project. You go into the email, enter your password, and you have access to that portal. You can make changes, you can request for leave, and do amazing stuff, all right? So this is the project you're going to work on as an agile project manager. So you're building a real product, okay, but working in a project-based environment. So you don't go to a physical office to complete your internship. You work remotely with a group of other professionals and you work together to solve problems, all right? I hope that answers your question for the person that asked the question on the internship. So I'm looking through the charts to see if we have more questions. Does Tenalytics give guidance for CBAP certification? Now, one of our major guidelines is certification is the last thing you want to consider. When it comes to the tech ecosystem, it's your competence before credentials, okay? In fact, it is a watchword for us, competence over credentials, okay? And the focus is for you, your competence includes your skills and your experience. So you must gain the skills first of all. Then you build experience by working on projects, and that's what encompasses your competence, okay? Our curriculum was built using the UK BCS curriculum, the British Computer Society, and the IIBA CBAP syllabus. So you have a syllabus that meets the two, popular, body of knowledge when it comes to business analysis. There are so many business analysts who have certifications, but they are here with us right now, learning with us because they're only business analysts on paper, but they don't know how to do the job. Always remember the person you want to give your couch to build for you. Are you going to give that person that has a certificate that I can build a couch? Or are you going to give somebody that has actually built a couch before? All right, always remember that. So when it comes to priority, your competence always comes before credentials. Your competence is a must-have. Your credential is a nice-to-have. Even if you don't have it, you will still get a job. I don't have any single certification. I've been in the space for over a decade. All right. SDW is asking a question. Can I start in October? Absolutely. Now, for some of you, you might have commitments in the month of September, so you can't start in September. All you have to do, you can defer to start in October, in November, and even in December. So we have a cohort that will begin on the 5th of October, 7th of September, 5th of October, I think 2nd of November, and 7th of December. Now, the advantage for you is you can secure your discounts today and defer to start in November, for example. So when the discount is off and people are paying a higher fee in November, you would have secured your discounts today. And what do you need to do? Once you've made payments and you are filling the form, if you've taken a screenshot, if you've done a direct transfer and you've clicked on upload your receipts, it takes you to this form. Okay, if you've paid with your credit or debit card, you get this form into your email automatically. The link comes to you automatically. You fill the details, enter your email, click on next, your type of payment, click on next. Just fill all the details essentially. Okay, your first name, your last name, your gender, click on next. Okay, read the terms and conditions. If you want to reach out to us, inquiries at Tenalytics, you can reach out to Shay, Lydia, or Aimwa, and you can also reach out to us on WhatsApp. So all our details are, you can get that right there. Click on next, upload your proof of payment. Okay, what's your mode of payment? You select that, click on next. I just want to show you where you get to select when you want to start, okay? So what program are you selecting? So now, some of you are undecided. What you can do is secure your discount slots, because we've had so many instances where people would join a session like this and they're confused. Should I do data science or data analytics? But then we schedule a clarity session with you and we help you answer that question. Okay, based on your experience, based on where you want to be, you should join the data science program. But then the discount is off. So you have to pay the full amount. So what you can do is, if you're undecided, select I need to speak with a professional. Once you select that option, we schedule you for a clarity session. So you come into that clarity session, it happens every Tuesdays with myself, the co-founder, Ifemena, will be there, my other colleagues will be there, and we help to answer the questions you have, okay? So we help you decide and guide you, to the career path that will be best for you. We don't make the decision for you, but we guide you for you to select the right decision. So if you know what you want to join, I want to do data engineering, full stack data science, cybersecurity, select the program. Okay, click on next. And this is where, okay, so because the data science, you have the morning class, you have the evening, depending on your location. So if I'm in the UK or I'm in the US, I want to select this time, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If I'm in the UK, I want to select 11 a.m. British time, okay? So I click on that, click on next. Now, this is when you'd like to start. So for the gentleman who asked, can I start in October? Absolutely. So the next cohort is on the 7th. After the 7th of September, we have another cohort on the 5th of October, another one on the 2nd of November, and the final cohort for 2024 would start 7th of December. So you can join any of these cohorts. The only advantage for you is if I make my payment today, I'm one of the first 15 people to pay. I don't have to pay an increased amount when the discount is off, say in November or in October. All right, I'd have secured my discount. So you can select 5th of October if you'd like to start in October, 2nd of November if you'd like to start in November, or you'd have secured your discount. So you select, fill out the form, submit the form, and you are in the program. Okay, I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question. All right. If you have questions, please feel free, raise your hand. I'll take about 3 questions and then we're going to call it a day. So let me take Jessica. Jessica, your hand is up. I've asked you to unmute yourself. So Jessica, go ahead. Let's hear from you. And I think I'll take maybe 1 or 2 more questions and then we call it a day. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. I'm calling from Nigeria. Yeah, I wanted to ask,
Yes.
If for instance, I miss the live classes and I watch the recordings, and after watching I have questions, how do I send those questions across to you? That's one. Then the second question is, if I miss the first session, the first live session in the morning, can I join the session for the evening session? Okay. Is it the same thing that is being taught in the 2 sessions?
All right.
So those are 2 questions I have.
Fantastic. Very brilliant questions, Jessica. So the answer is yes. All right.
Okay.
So if you miss a class, you watch the recording, you are confused, you are not sure, you want to ask questions. First of all, we have something we call the drop-in session. Okay. The drop-in session is like your makeup class. This is a class where you missed the class on Saturday, for example, and on Wednesday, we have a makeup class for people who missed classes, for people who have further questions. So you're not just sending messages and you're getting responses via messages. You can join another session on Wednesday in the evening. Okay. And your facilitator will walk you through what was done the previous weekend and answer your questions. So if you look at this class, for example, you'd see something called what? Drop-in session. Okay. If you go to week
Okay.
2, you'd also see drop-in session. So once you have your classes during the weekends, during the week on Wednesdays, most of the time, it's on Wednesdays. Okay. The timing is usually in the evenings, but the time is also agreed. The students, dictate the time because some people might be working and some would say, okay, 9 p.m. is fine. We meet at 9 p.m. Your facilitator would join you in that session and walk you through everything that was done. So they bring you up to speed and you don't go into the subsequent class confused on
Okay.
what. All right. So if you also, let me just show you this very quickly. So let's go to the class that started in August and I'll take your second question. Okay, let's go to business analysis, for example. So you've missed the class on Saturday. This is the live class, the platform for your live sessions. So let's assume you've missed your very first class, or let's say you've missed the class on SQL. Okay, you've missed the class on SQL, right? You have your recording. You've come here, you've watched the recording, but you're still confused. All you need to do is join your drop-in session. So you have a drop-in session, you join that session, and somebody, a real human being, not somebody sending you a message or sending you an email, would work with you, help you address the issues that you have. So that's one way. Another way is everybody joins a WhatsApp group once you register. So you have a WhatsApp group just for ease of communication. So in that WhatsApp group, you have your class coordinator, you have your trainer would also be in that group, and all the other students would be in the group. So usually when people send questions into the group, a student who joined the class and has better understanding would even respond before your facilitator or your trainer even responds. But you have those people in your group to also help you out. And if for any reason you miss the class on Saturday in the morning, you can join the class in the evening and vice versa. All right.
Okay.
So it's the same thing that you'd have in the 2 classes. All right. But we always advise that if you're going to make those changes from time to time frequently, you let us know. So we also make it flexible for you in the way that, because I'll give a typical example. Now, let's say in the morning class, I have 20 people in class. In the class for those in the US and Canada, I have 30 people in that class. All right. Now, in the class in the morning, we can move very fast. Okay. I can teach you, this is the curriculum we need to cover. And we're going to cover A, B, C. And I cover A, B. I didn't get to cover C. Right. But you didn't join that class and you want to join the class in the evening. Now, the class in the evening, I could have done A, B, and C. So the following week, you're coming into that class in the morning where they haven't done C, and you might find yourself a little bit, confused. Oh, we did this in this other class. In the morning class, we didn't do it, and you might get yourself confused. So what we always advise is let us know. So we work with to let you know what was done, what has been done in this class. If you need to bring yourself up to speed on certain things, then we support you to do that. Your class coordinator will do that for you. So you can join the classes in a nutshell. The summary is, if you miss the morning class, you can join the evening. If you miss the evening, if you're going to miss the evening, you can join the morning, so that even though you won't be available in the evening, you would have joined the class for that Saturday. I don't know if that answers your question, Jessica.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome. And for those in Nigeria, because I can see a question, if I want to pay in Naira, what do I do? The answer is very simple. Now, once you go to the enrollment center, you click on the link. All right. Once you click on any of the programs, it would show you the amounts based on your location. Right. So if I click on data analytics, for example, it's going to show me £500, and you can also change the currency right here. Okay, so you can come here. Let's see if we can select Naira. Yes, you select Naira. I want to pay in Naira, and you see the amount in Naira. based on the prevalent exchange rates at that point in time. If I'm in South Africa, I want to pay using the South Africa Rand. I can do that by selecting this, and you see the amount in Rand. Okay, so you can pay in different currencies based on your location and your preference. All right, and I hope I answered that question as well. So let me see if I have more questions before we call it a day. I think I'll take just 2 more questions and then I'll wrap up. I'll take from Kushimo and SDW. Okay, so Kushimo, let me hear from you. Go ahead, Kushimo. Hi, Kushimo. I'll ask you to unmute yourself. Okay, maybe Kushimo is having some network issues. I'll move to the next person. SDW, please go ahead. I've asked you to unmute yourself. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Alize. I hope you are good.
I'm very well. And
Yeah,
you?
this good, good, good. I could feel the energy, and I could, yeah, I was impressed with what you. Thank you. Actually, I'm calling from UK.
Okay.
So the challenge is that you know, now and I think Africa and UK they're on the same time zone.
Yes.
So by the time we move to winter, it's going to be maybe 1 hour ahead.
Yeah.
So which of the time are we going to be using on Saturday? Is it 11 or 10 a.m. in the morning?
No, we'll use the 11. Okay, so West Africa would be 11 and the UK would be 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so would stick to the 11 a.m., right? But once the timing changes, the UK would be 1 hour behind.
Yeah.
So 10 a.m. your time, but those in West Africa will be 11 a.m. But you still get to join the class at the same time, if that makes sense.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello, please, can I talk now? I'm Kushimo.
Oh, okay, yes. Kushimo, go ahead, please.
About the clarity session, while
Yes.
I was making the initial payment,
Yes.
I did not pick clarity session. I just pick a data
A program.
analyst.
Okay.
But now after you explain data science and data engineering and
Yes.
data analytics,
Yes.
so I think I need that. So I don't know if it's still possible for me to have the clarity class, but if it's possible, I'll prefer calling or chatting because of shift and schedule. I wouldn't,
Okay.
if you say next Tuesday, I might have shift next Tuesday,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it will make me to miss out the session.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it possible to have calling time or chatting time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a problem at all, Kushimo. So my colleagues would have taken your details. Did you fill the attendance form, Kushimo?
Yes, yes.
All right. So would have gotten your details from the attendance. And once as long as you've made payments and you filled that form, we have your details as well. So my colleagues will get in touch with you. Even if you can't meet this Tuesday, we're going to have it. Everybody who needs clarity before they start would have clarity sessions until we can fix specified times for you based on your availability to have those conversations, so you can select the program you'd like to join. So my colleagues would have taken your details and somebody would get in touch with you to ensure that we set you up for that clarity session.
So please, I have another question.
Go ahead, please.
The last session like this that I had with 10 analytics, we were told that even immediately we start the class, we can start applying for jobs. So I want to reaffirm, I want to know, because this class, you didn't mention that, though all the testimonials we receive is a month after completion, 2 months, 3 months after. But I want you to reiterate on that as soon as we start the class, can we start? Is it possible? Are we equipped enough to start applying for jobs?
Fantastic. So let me give you a typical example. So we don't have a testimonial here because she's just started the job last month. Okay, she's still in the program. She hasn't completed. Her name is Nonye. Okay, Nonye joined the HR analytics program in June. So Nonye joined in June. All right. Now, after a month and a half after you start the program, you'd have completed your CV review session. You'd have completed your LinkedIn optimization session. You'd have also completed your Excel classes. And we know from experience that there are organizations that need you for only your Excel skills, even though you do other stuff, but the major tool you leverage on the job would be Excel. Now, Nonye started to apply because we tell after a month, like I said, you've done your CV, your LinkedIn, you start to apply to jobs. So Nonye joined in June and started to apply, okay, at the end of June. By July, she landed a job with the government of Saskatchewan, working in the Department of Disability, where her role is a program evaluation analyst role. And what's she doing? She's simply analyzing the programs that the government has deployed to people living with disability, how effective those programs are, and if they meet the objectives of the disability strategy. Nonye is still in the program. She hasn't completed the program. Okay, so what we always advise, and the reason why she got that job is because her role as a program evaluation analyst involves only the use of Excel. There are two major tools she uses on the job. The first one is a survey instrument, like your SurveyMonkey, your Google Forms that you send, people fill the form, just like the form you guys filled for attendance. So you fill the form, we collect data. So Nonye sends links like that to people living with disability, collects data from them, and uses Excel to do her analysis. All right. So with the use of Excel, Nonye was able to start that job. She started in June, and for a 4 months program, she's just 2 months into the program, and she landed this job. So to answer your question directly, Kushimo, you don't wait until the end. Okay, the maximum you wait is a month and a half. It's the maximum. A month usually, or at the maximum, a month and a half into the program. So 4 weeks, 6 weeks into the program, you'd have completed, if you are doing HR, business analysis, data analytics, data science, you'd have completed that initial aspect of Microsoft Excel. And there are so many organizations that need you to work with them using Excel. And that's where you start to get opportunities even before you are done with the program. So I don't know if that answers that question for you, Kushimo.
Yes, extensively. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll see we have more questions. I'm going to wrap up right now. Okay, but before I wrap up, I can see we have more questions. Okay, so what I'll advise you to do, User, King Joshua, Isaac, Esther, I know you had questions you'd have loved to ask. Take advantage of the discounts. All right, register, be a part, join the clarity session. Okay, and I'll be there on Tuesday. Efemena will be there on Tuesday, the co-founder, and would help you address all these issues. And if for any reason, like Kushimo mentioned, you're not available on Tuesday, we'll keep on trying to fix a date for you before you start. Okay, so that we have a one-on-one with you and help you make that decision at the end of the day. All right. So one thing I want everybody on the call to do so that you are the first person to get information about Tenalytics is go to LinkedIn. Okay. Make sure you go to LinkedIn. All right. Search for Tenalytics on LinkedIn. Tenalytics. Go to Tenalytics, search for Tenalytics, and follow Tenalytics. All right, see the amazing work we are doing. And this is where you start to see the opportunities that you can take advantage of. Follow us on LinkedIn, ensure that you're a part of the Tenalytics community. You can also follow me as well Adeza Suleiman. That's my name on LinkedIn. I'll be very happy to connect with all of you. Okay, go on YouTube. All right. So all the sessions we've had over time, last week, if you missed the session last week, go to LinkedIn, search for Tenalytics. All right. Go to the Tenalytics page. Click on the Tenalytics icon. It takes you to Tenalytics. Subscribe to the Tenalytics page, and you can watch videos on several sessions similar to the one we had today. Like Koshimo said, she joined the session, and in that session, she was able to learn some stuff. You can watch that session, okay? If Femena took a session last week, we had a session on how to leverage Claude AI, as you know, using Power BI as a business analyst, data analyst, and so on. You also get to listen to the amazing Bukola, I beg your pardon, Bukola, who got a job. Bukola says, I got a job as a data scientist with a leading retail company, thanks to Tenalytics. Listen to amazing professionals who have done the things you're trying to do. This is Vivian who got a remote job working in France after getting that job, getting another job in the UK. And you see ladies doing amazing stuff within the tech ecosystem. So you have the opportunity to watch as many videos as possible. How I secured a job after training with Tenalytics. You also get to watch these videos, and you can even start to learn, okay? You can learn how to use different tools like, you know, exploratory data analysis using Python, real life churn analysis. You can watch this right here. For those of you who want to start in data science, you can work on different, you know, watch for free. So follow us, ensure that you are a part of a community that can get you to where you want to get to. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us across all the platforms. And if you ever want to reach out to us, you can go to the website, tenalytics.io. All right, it takes you to the website. You go to About Us, Contact Us, and you have access to speak with Shay, speak with Lydia, or speak with Ima. All right, and you can also send us emails to enquiries@tenalytics.io. We'll be very happy to engage with you. And most importantly, we'll be very happy to work with you to help you get your journey into the tech ecosystem started. Take advantage of the discount. The discount is only for the first 15 people who registers for all the different programs. I'm going to call it a day at this point. We've been here for 3 hours, and I'd like to say a big thank you for everybody who has stayed up until this moment. If you've gotten value for your time today, you've gotten value for your time, type let's go. Just type let's go into the charts if you've gotten value for your time today. King Joshua says, let's go, let's go. Thank you very much, guys. The most difficult decision, like I always tell people, is to start. Once you get started, everything else becomes easier for you. All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have an amazing time. I'd look forward to seeing those of you joining the Clarity session. And for those of you who will be joining us in September, October, November, I'll be looking forward to getting your journey started with you. Cheers, everyone. Have an amazing time and enjoy the rest of the weekend.